Happy New Year, everybody.
Yay.
Welcome.
Yay.
Yay.
I was so
What?
confused by what that noise was. I didn't understand it as a yay. It was like a hey, and then threw me off. Welcome to 2021 with us, the most chaotic D&D stream on the internet. It's the High Rollers crew. Me, I'm your Dungeon Master, Marshall Humes, and welcome to our little show. I'm joined by the noisy Tom Hazel,
Hello.
the lovely Rhiannon, Katie, and Kim, and our master of ceremonies, tech wizard, Chris Trott. Thank you very much. Thanks, friends. It's good to see you. And I haven't seen you since last year.
I spoke to you today.
Humor. Yeah,
no,
yesterday.
you did.
Yeah, no.
We literally,
Yeah, I did, but yeah, top quality banter. We're back. It's time for more Dungeons and Dragons. We're back, ready to shoot forward with our Aerois campaign into 2021. Still being safe, still being remote and distanced, because it's a scary world out there. So we're staying safe. But we're going to bring you excellent D&D fun, no matter what. There's very short. It's not a long intro today because we don't have any sponsors yet. D&D Beyond will be back soon, but we just have like a little Christmas break. That's it really. Welcome back. We've got, I think, is it next week or the week after is our 5-year anniversary, Kim?
17th of January.
17th of January is our 5-year anniversary. Do we have anything planned for it? Maybe. Maybe not. Find out soon.
Yeah.
Do we?
Let's start planning it
You
soon,
worried
then.
me when you said that.
Have
Have I missed
Wear hats
something?
or something. Well, it'll be like Hat Day or something. I want to do something silly. But yeah,
Hat Day.
Hat Day.
You heard
but yeah,
it here.
we'll
all wear hats.
wear hats. That's going to be that's on the 17th, our 5-year anniversary. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget, spread the word. You can watch all of the previous episodes on YouTube. You've also got the podcast. If you want to catch up in podcast form, we might have the occasional odd podcast and YouTube only sponsor, which we did have last week. Thank you, Tom and Trott, for providing some excellent sponsor messaging on that one as well. I believe in hope. I believe in hope.
Fate of the world.
Fate of the world.
I believe in shaving my balls.
It's at hand.
but-
Yeah, we all shave our balls. That gives
You
me
should
hope.
go and
Yeah.
check those out just for a good laugh. Go and give those a watch and a listen and a download. And that's it. That's it. Check out the podcast. Watch us on YouTube. Give us thumbs up. Give us all likes, all that kind of good stuff. Merch. We do have some restocks on merch now. So our Prime
Nice.
hoodie, the dice sets, and the new dice tray should all be available on both US and EU store. So you can get all of those for the new year. If you want lovely new merch for the new year.
Is there some-
And we should have some fun and exciting stuff coming in spring. Coming in spring, we'll have a new set of nice things as well. Plushie quill. It's a thing that people would like. Can we make it? We'll see. And that's it.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tell. That's it. Anything I've missed? Good friends. Good friends. Anything
You
we've
covered
missed?
everything.
I've
You
covered
got it all.
everything.
2021.
Good to be back.
2021. 2021.
21.
It's a
Let's just keep
scary
going.
Count us in.
time.
Let's not think about the years. Just
No,
think
yeah.
about D&D.
Let's just think about D&D. And speaking of D&D, let's play our little intro video, and then I'll do a recap of what happened on the last episode of Aerois. welcome back to Aerois.
What was that?
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Okay, it's not my fault. Tom's gonna have to cut it out anyway.
I had to wait an extra 2 seconds for Tom to finish his stupid laugh before failing to mark.
And then I did it, and then they all lost
and
it
then
anyway.
he laughed anyway.
It was Kim.
Exactly.
It was Kim.
I was ready. Right.
You can't.
Last
believe
time on Aerois, our party of adventurers inside an ancient temple to Hesper, god of sky, knowledge, and magic. The party completed several powerful trials and saved a primordial tempest dragon from a terrible enchantment that trapped it within a deep nightmare. In doing so, they also ended a magical storm that had ravaged the land of Voxar for centuries and gained another powerful ally. But their good deed would not go unpunished. As the party boarded their airship, the Storm Chaser, and prepared to leave, a powerful sorceress called Zarkira teleported to the temple and attacked the ship with a meteor swarm. With a last-minute order, Lucius managed to save the crew, but the ship was nearly destroyed, and only the quick actions of Ayla, Quill, Nova, and a few members of the crew saved them from absolute disaster. A devastated Storm Chaser limped its way back towards the sky city of Gusthaven, where the party have docked for repairs and prepare their next steps. And that is pretty much where we are going to begin today, my dear friends. A moment of respite after several very difficult encounters and challenges in reaching the heart of the Temple of Hesper, but also your very narrow escape from Zarkira herself. You have arrived into civilization. The ship is being repaired, having paid for it with the last of your raw funds, I think. The ship is being repaired, and you have about 5 days before a very important meeting is taking place on the Sky City of Horizon, a meeting where the leaders for the various factions and continents and countries of Aerois will meet to discuss the threat of the Valkyrian Empire and the fate of Aerois. So, with this time that you have, my question to you all is, what would you like to do?
Keel over and die.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Can I willingly do that? Can you just roll over and just choose to die?
I'm done. I mean,
Happy New Year.
there's a very dark method of doing it. I'd like to not do that. So no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Lucius
we're at
still
the
has
point.
plenty to continue living for, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about myself. Anyway,
Chris Strott. Okay, that's very different. Yeah, that's very different. You can just kind of like
he's got a lot to do.
God.
Anyway, I believe we were talking about the discussion of meeting with my sister Dea.
Yeah.
Yep. That was there was talk of meeting with Adea. You have like various supplies you guys might want to get. Gusthaven being, a very large, wealthy city that travels all over Aerois is popular for trade. So this is a great place to, buy supplies, sell magic items, do all of that kind of good stuff. It's also home to the Imperium Archive, the Imperial Archive, which is like a great repository of knowledge from across Aerois. Nova is very familiar with it, having spent some time researching there. There is also the Scholar of the Eterna, who is kept safely beneath the archive. If you had any more questions, or if Nova wanted to go and speak to her, I'm sure you also all have your own personal things that you want to achieve as well.
I was going to ask if Helios wants to go and check in with Dean Alessandra Vastra.
Helios will most certainly be taking some time to go and check in with them, separating himself from Sentry and going to catch up with them.
Nice.
How much time is there?
You have about 5 days before the meeting on Horizon. So you have 5 days before the meeting on Horizon. It's still early morning when you arrived. I think the only thing that I will say is at some point during the day, you will receive, specifically Lucius, will receive a messenger dressed in courtly attire, very prim and well-kept young female high elf, who delivers a missive It is a very short letter addressed to Lucius and the members of the Storm Chaser, and it simply says, "I'm pleased to hear that you've returned to Gusthaven. I deeply wish to inquire to your recent activities and your progress in the various threats against Aerois, and to catch up regarding the matters within Horizon. Please, at your convenience, attend to Gale Crown, where I will be happy to host you for dinner." And it is from Sky Prince Aradan, the Sky Prince of Gusthaven.
Oh, thank you very much.
You are welcome,
say to the
Mr.
person.
Alaristo. Yep.
We have a missive. Sorry to interrupt. Bye.
Well, I would prefer to return to the sky, to return to His Majesty with your response. If you will be joining him this evening, or perhaps tomorrow
right
evening.
now. Okay.
Well, it is still early. This would be an evening arrangement, so whenever would suit your persons best. It could be this evening, or perhaps tomorrow evening, if you have other arrangements.
We have no other arrangements. I'm sure we'll make every effort to prioritize this over anything else.
We did want to meet with Aerois, didn't we?
As the Sky Prince himself, Aradan, I believe we should attend.
Okay. Yes, tonight sounds good, I think, for everyone.
Very
Is
well.
everyone okay with that?
Yes, yeah, fine.
It will be a private dinner with just the prince and yourselves. There will be no other nobles will be in attendance. Please do feel free to come dressed as you are. There are no expectations on formal wear. It will be a rather private affair.
Good.
Okay.
Well, I will tell the guards and the Sky Prince to expect you around 7 p.m. 7 bells.
Perfect. That sounds
Very
wonderful.
well. Thank you, Sir Elanasto. And she bows and will begin making her way to deliver other messages and jobs around the city.
Well, that's us busy for today. I've got to go find new clothes.
You just said that it was fine to come dressed as we are, so I'm absolutely not changing.
That is I think they're just extending some generosity, considering what we've been through, but it's the Sky Prince Aradan. I cannot be seen wearing these, you know? It's a formal event, a private dinner.
I mean, the most formal out of all of us. All the time.
Yeah.
You look
I
fine.
mean, I guess Sentry could polish yourself, but the rest of us can't really. I don't think we have enough money. I just wanted to address a small issue. But between the fixing the hole, Jester Tour's hole, and the money lack therein.
Yeah.
What?
That was the last of the bars gone, and we thought that would keep us going for quite a while. It's gone. So if anyone has,
well.
I got a thing I could sell, but I mean, I'm not gonna sell something to spend money on clothes for Lucius.
No, that's
Yeah,
not a good idea.
Or a bath.
No.
Or
I suppose I can
luxury
flick
things.
through my old wardrobe, and maybe something's come back into fashion recently. I've got some formal attire for such events. Oh, look at my
Sure.
old wardrobe. Fine, I'm going.
Okay.
I assume it's here
Um,
somewhere.
Where
I don't know if it's been
Well,
moved. here.
Lucas, I mean, there isn't really a wardrobe here in Gusthaven. You had everything with you, and then your house blew up. So there is no wardrobes left. You have what you had when you began these adventures, and what you have collected and paid for thus far, and that is here on the Storm Chaser, which is effectively now your home. So
I'll spend the next 10 minutes or so asking the company above. Has anyone seen my wardrobe? Has any clothing been moved or recovered? No.
if you are asking the noble family who has bought the land that your house was on, there are a lot of very embarrassed kind of and gesturing towards other members of the family, like, I'll just bring in Nave to handle this, and then I'll need to, and then they go off and find somebody else, and then eventually the answer is no. There was nothing left to reclaim. It was all gone or destroyed or sold off.
All right. I'll come back.
However, I will say, Lucius, when you do go and speak to, I believe it is the Viranor family who bought your family's land and then built you a secret kind of room underneath it, they do provide you with 800 gold, which is their basically their kind of seasonal payment that they are basically giving you in exchange for, leasing them the land, and then, they've then built you this kind of private base underneath their own house. So they provide you with 800 gold, which is like a seasonal payment. So you'll get that like several times in a year.
Thank you. I could get some new velvet gloves with this one. Excellent.
Whatever you wish to do with it, Lucius, you are more than welcome to.
Perfect. Well, good day to you. I have to... I've got so much to prepare. I've got dinner with the prince.
Oh.
The Sky Prince.
And
Prince Aerois.
Definitely
He's invited us.
perks up a few ears. That perks up a few ears.
Yeah, and I'll just scurry down to the secret base and look around my shoulders, make sure no one's looking, even though they all know.
Yeah, the family that live here know about it, yeah. But I think, like, a lot of the servants probably wouldn't. Like, the family have built this so that you can come and go quite privately. So, yeah. What about the rest of you? So, what is everyone else doing?
So, in terms of money, I mean, Ayla has some things to sell. I've got this staff now. I don't need this other staff that I have, which might be worth quite a lot. Or, I don't know, maybe we could shove that into Ayla. We could put it into your hammer somehow. I don't know how
say
you
you're
do
going to
it.
shove a staff into me, because that's not...
Into your
that's
hammer!
not-
Into your
okay.
hammer!
Um,
That's a very
What does it
rapid
do?
correction.
what
It's
does it
a-
do?
It's a staff of
striking.
striking. It's,
He's got a
I
now.
mean, I can
it's
you
a
like me to
ask
just
you.
tell
+3. A +3 staff of striking. It has 10 charges. When you hit with a melee attack, you can expend 3 of its charges, and the target takes an extra 1d6 of force damage. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, if magic people can make the things happen, then maybe. But we'll
I don't know
see.
if you want to upgrade the hammer. That's
I
the thing. Or we could just sell it.
I have a thing. The lightning pew pew.
Oh, the lightning
Can't
pew pew.
find
I
it.
remember.
Can't
hook
find
shot
it
thing?
in my. Wait, did I sell that already?
Lure?
Well,
Lightning
if it's
cable
in your
launcher.
inventory.
It is lightning
Yeah.
cable launcher. I've got that.
Yeah, you can try and sell those, yeah.
Look, if we want to
I
sell a load of
may,
stuff, we can make money.
Yeah,
Go on over.
I kind of maybe need something like let's see, 1,000 and then another 250 and then 500, 2,000 gold, ish.
That's
Why?
not 1,250 and 500 added together, but okay.
What's the
You
plan?
are this mathematician, yes, cool. Well, I would like to stock up on materials so that I can cast Heal Greater Injury again should we ever get ourselves into a nervous look at Lucius situation again. And well then, and then a greater healing potion would be nice as well. I'm completely out of potions now. Events recently revolving around Nervous Look at Quill, the temple and such forth have reminded me that we're running rather low on potion supplies. And then
We
I perhaps
actually
maybe
are
need
out of
1,000
those.
gold to do
For
something to my goggles.
What?
Oh,
Okay.
gold plating? Some filigree.
Oh, yes. No, I need to modify the lenses, so I can cast a spell. And it's 1,000 gold.
Function.
And we don't have 1,000.
Function.
And
Sunglasses.
function.
I
You want them
think.
to dim so you don't get blinded by the sun.
Oh,
Does. Great red
Pretty
light.
good idea.
Yes. We
I
should
think.
always look after our eyes. Oh wait.
I
sorry,
think.
Yes.
So, that's awkward.
Yes, we should.
But
Yeah, wow.
hey,
Bold statement
Hey.
from Ayla.
he's got a better eye now. To be
Yeah.
honest, it sees stuff.
If anything,
so,
I've learned
hey,
you shouldn't look after your eyes because Hesper will just
Then you
come
get
down and
cool
give you a
things.
better one.
There you go. See, I agree. I'm
It's
with Quill.
definitely in his
Anyway.
teachings.
I think we should sell the stuff that we don't need and use the money to keep ourselves alive with things like potions.
That's a good idea.
And things that protect people, because we suck at that part of things currently.
Also,
having a little bit of a blip. We're having a bit of a blip.
We're about to go to a meeting in which everyone is about to get attacked, and we know that for certain, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so
we're about
I
to
think
go to a bad place.
Maybe let's not upgrade things unless we have excess from what we sell. Let's focus on, living a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay, I like that.
Just an idea, because I don't like it when you guys fall down. I really don't like it anymore.
I'm not keen. I'm not keen. Speaking of living, how about we've got 5 days here. I never gave you a full tour of the key features of Gusthaven.
Oh, one of the key features of Gusthaven is the Moonstar.
The what? No. I'm talking visual, geographic locations. We haven't been to the Sky Lake, which, knowledge nugget, here we go.
Wait,
Hesper was one of the original gods that raised Gusthaven into the sky. Did you know that? Well, he did all of them, I know.
Sky Lake. You revived me near there.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've been...
Well, we could go
the
again.
Cathedral.
Have we been? Grand Cathedral?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
what about
with
Deathfall
the
Arena? Have you been there?
You didn't go there.
No, we haven't been to Deathfall Arena. Do we want to go to a place called Deathfall Arena?
Oh,
that
don't sound too excited.
That sounds
just
really
said
fun.
Living. You just said let's stay alive, and this place is called
Arena.
Deathfall.
It's for sky jousting.
See?
There's a whole history behind why it's
It's
called
like
that.
the thing. And remember last time we went to see the Spell Clash? That was hilarious fun for me, because I was sitting and watching other people getting hurt, and none of you were really getting hurt that bad, and you really won. And sky jousting, none of you are going to be doing it. But other people might get hurt, and that'll be fun to watch. So
Maybe my brother will be
yes.
Your brother?
Is your brother here?
doing it.
You have a brother?
He's a sky jouster. I mentioned him very many times. He's a sky jouster.
Yeah.
I got hit in the head with a meteor. You can't expect me to remember things.
He's called
Fascinating.
He's called Tornado.
I could have one of his collectible cards.
His stage name is Tornado.
He would have been newer than I think Lucius. When Lucius was into sky jousting, Tornado would have been a young boy as well. So, but you probably did. If Tornado was an avid fan of sky jousting, you probably collected the same kind of cards and followed the same jousters for sure.
Fascinating.
I would just like to say that while we're here, and the meeting's in 5 days, we should probably be careful. We know that we know it's going to get attacked. We know something bad's going to happen. So we don't know necessarily who is here, and who might be here for.
I think it's a question
reasons.
of would they, if there are forces planning to attack the meeting, would they split up to all the individual cities to take them out before they even arrive at the meetings? I think if anything went awry beforehand. Now, I think we should keep an open mind and be wary of everything, but thinking of this logically, if something were to happen to Sky Prince Aradan before the meeting even begins, then the meeting would get cancelled. We should keep him on his toes, that's for sure. We want to keep him alive.
Yes.
I was also
he's probably already on his toes. He's not stupid.
Likely. There's been a lot going on in Gusthaven alone for him to keep on his toes. Nevertheless, I was thinking perhaps with this dinner, maybe as we're all going to the same place, Sky Prince Aradan may have means of transport to this meeting that we could latch onto.
Yeah, we're trying to get to Horizon. So.
Yeah.
It might be worth asking. But yes.
Did we not already say that? Sorry. Did we not already send him a message and he said that we could hitch a ride?
You did, yes, you did.
Yes.
Quill sended him you sending, and he said that he would be able to provide transportation for you all. Yes.
Okay.
But no details, because sending is obviously limited in how much you can say. So there were no details about it, but he did confirm that there would be a way to transport you guys.
We'll get the deets.
Cool.
Sure.
Well, you have a good, whole afternoon before this dinner. So is it a case of you want to go and sell some stuff? I believe Nova is already familiar with one of the best places to go. There's a couple of different merchants here that specialize in valuable magic items and materials and things like that. There is the Aerois, which is a very large, almost like a department store, like a kind of fantasy magical department store that sells all sorts of materials, scrolls, potions, magic items, as well as more mundane materials and everything else. There's a place called the Joyous Scepter, which is a much smaller store, but it's more esoteric. They probably would deal in more off-the-cuff or like unusual things. And then there is a place called the Mind of the Arcane, which is more of like a library that deals in specialist scrolls and spell books. And I believe Nova already went to the Aerois, which is run by one of the noble families of Gusthaven, specifically a woman called Azaria Yorian Perel, who's one of the chief nobles of Gusthaven.
Yeah, that's why we got our messenger rings, actually.
It is. Yeah, custom made.
So long ago. Well, the things I need are fairly standard. I think probably the Aerois is probably good enough for a bit of buying and selling.
Sure. I don't think the other places are. I mean, this staff of striking, would that strike you as esoteric?
Was that a pun, Quill? Very funny.
He noticed it too.
So things like the Staff of Striking and any kind of items that you gained while you were out in astral space are going to be very rare and unusual here on Aerois. Magitech is not really a thing in Aerois. Like, it's still much more grounded high fantasy than the kind of more sci-fi fantasy of the rest of the campaign. So yeah, things like any Magitech stuff is either going to be people aren't going to buy it because they don't understand it, or you're going to need to find specialist dealers who would be very interested in it and will probably pay top price to buy that sort of stuff. The only person you've really met who has dabbled in kind of Magitech more than anything is Lucius's sister, Adea, and Nova. Nova has like learned a lot in her time in, the Valkyrian ships and with Tiangong's knowledge and everything else. Yeah, it's still quite an unusual art. The Dragonborn are the only other ones who really deal with Magitech, because they obviously came from a world beyond Aerois, so they understand Magitech a lot more. They'd probably buy Magitech.
Okay. Well, we can go there and try. I've also got a load of other weird junk that I want to sell, like a breastplate. I'm never going to wear that.
Yeah, the Aerois is a great place to sell that stuff. They buy like weapons and armor and adventuring gear, and they basically will buy and sell pretty much everything, so... it's like a big plaza shopping mall. Cool. Fantasy Sky Mall of everything.
Let's go to the Fantasy Sky Mall!
Cool. It is located in the trading district, which is called Farron's Fortune. And yeah, it is. You find the Aerois at the end of a large, long street of beautifully kept, well-cleaned stone streets, all beautifully paved, curving around. Every ounce of space in Gusthaven, I mentioned this when you guys were here before, every ounce of space is utilized in Gusthaven. So if there is space in the street for a few trees or flowers or vegetable plots to be planted, they are. Things like houses are very tall but very narrow buildings that kind of almost form like these long, tall streets with buildings flanking on either side. Because it's obviously one chunk of land that's been lifted up into the air and then set adrift, they can only maintain a certain maximum population, and that means they have to cram everything in as much as possible. So it creates In some ways, it's a little claustrophobic. The streets are very narrow and the buildings are like rising up above you or all around you. But it's also very beautiful. Art and the way things look is kind of important as well. It's not utilitarian. A lot of the building surfaces are made from magically reinforced glass to allow as much light in as possible. So you create these kind of beautiful apartments where you can see inside people's, apartments, and there are colored curtains to give them privacy and things like that. As you make your way through. Did you have a question, Trot? I heard like an intake of breath.
No, I'm just breathing.
Oh, you're just breathing.
You.
The Eighth Agora sits at the very end of such a street, and it sprawls out as a kind of half-moon semicircle made of multiple floors. There are stairs that lead up to different levels, selling everything from trader's supplies, fabrics, tools, seeds and vegetabling, kind of homegrown gardening kits, things like that, to a whole section which is dedicated to items of convenience, like minor magic items that are, a broom that will sweep by itself, a metal plate that you can cook that will heat up magically, so you don't need fire and fuel and things like that. It's very, very
really
futuristic
nice.
and fancy stuff, very Eberron-ish. And
Is
then
it very
yeah, there is
cool,
a
or is it very
specialized
like JML style?
There's an element of JML. There's like an element of JML, but it's obviously like everything's done with enchantments and magic, so it is still cool, but it's kind of also naff at the same time.
Bit tacky, yeah.
Buy one, get
Yeah,
one
there's like,
free.
An overly gilded chest that's magically enchanted to remain cold inside, so people can preserve food for longer and stuff like that. But it's, advertised as just like, the legendary magic chill box and stuff like that. And there's like
Amazing.
advertisements everywhere for it. But there is a large section of the Eighth Agora which is dedicated purely to connoisseurs of the arcane, of enchantments and of magical relics. And this is roped off. There is actually kind of like a security guards, like there are guardsmen that patrol to kind of keep an eye on it. And inside, when you step inside, you find only the wealthiest of Gusthaven's patrons, all speaking with a very, very tall. She must be close to nearly 7 feet tall. She looks ageless. It's almost hard to depict how old she is, even that she's high elf, but she could be, by her pose and just her kind of presence, you feel that she's a mature woman, but her skin is flawless as if she was barely, older than a teenager. She looks immaculate. All dressed in black with a long veil that covers most of her eyes. A headdress with these kind of sweeping dragon horns, and then long silvery black hair that trails down behind her. And Nova would recognize this as the owner of the Eighth Agora, Azaria Yorian Perel. And she waves her hands, and items lift off the shelves by themselves and scurry away as her customers are purchasing things. And when she sees you all, she just turns and smiles, very kind of serene. Welcome to the Eighth Agora. I recognize at least 2 of you, Sir Elenasto, and she bows her head towards Lucius. And I believe your name does escape me, my dear, but if I remember, you requested a rather unique messenger device. Ways of telepathic communication, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we're still wearing it now. They're fantastic, by the way. Revolutionary.
I am pleased to hear it. It was normally that design is limited to only 2 individuals. Creating it for multiple was a unique challenge, hence why I remember it. But still, I am glad to see that you have returned to Gusthaven, and I hope that you have returned with business for the Perel family.
Yes. We have things that we'd like to sell and things that we'd like to buy, and I remembered how amazing you were with the ring and the things. So we're here. Hi. Oh, and the breastplate. This Ethelforged breastplate as well. Look. Ding, ding, ding.
A fine piece. Well, and she turns. If you would excuse me, it seems that this may take some time. Many of my assistants will be able to assist. She turns to the others and kind of brushes them off. Says, please, come with me into my parlor. And she moves her hand, and you see these big curtains kind of sweep aside. And where you are positioned in the shop, you feel like there shouldn't be much space in this section of the room. But when she sweeps these curtains aside, it extends like a palace. It just keeps going and seems to be this impossibly large space beyond these curtains.
We need guns.
Lots of guns. And it's all beautifully, lavishly decorated in rich blacks and purples and dark reds, gold filigrees, silks and crystal decanters, elegantly carved wooden shelving and bookcases filled with all sorts of components and devices. And she gestures you in, and things begin lifting by themselves by unseen servants as they bring you trays of a kind of refreshing cold mint tea. And she gestures, so, please, what have you brought for me to trade with? I'm always interested in the curiosities that fall across my parlor.
So Nova will get out both Gadwin's hammer, which I still have, and the energy crossbow that I took from Astro's booth.
Well, she looks over these. Two very interesting and quite powerfully enchanted relics. This hammer, if I'm not mistaken, is pre-sundering. She waves, she kind of just gestures with her fingers, and her eyes, which are normally this kind of purple. Like most high elves, they're like a solid block of color, like Lucius's. They don't have pupils, they're just solid blocks of color. But as she waves her hands in front of them, you watch as white and black spirals kind of begin to swirl in her eyes and then fade for a moment. Oh, a rather interesting little enchantment. I'd be more than happy to part with, say, 1,000 gold for this hammer. The crossbow. Now, this is quite interesting. I've never, on Aerois, seen anything like this. And I have heard on the rumor mill that Lord Elanasto and his companions had been traveling to some interesting locations. I'm very interested by this. I believe that this crossbow, by its seemingly ability to create magical energy, yes, very potent. I would offer you 5,000 gold for this. I would like to break it down and analyze it structurally.
Throughout this whole entering this place and watching her doing these movements and stuff, Lucius,
she's very graceful, alien almost.
He instinctively golf claps everything, like opening the curtains.
Yeah, and this is, I think for Lucius, this would be, all of your time as a younger man spent on Gusthaven with the nobility. There's always been an air of like, oh, we do things with magic, or we do things like, very prestigiously. There's not, and it's normally done with a little bit of showmanship of like, oh yes, look at the spell that I can use, or look at how fancy this is. But with her, it's just graceful. It's not to show it off. It's almost as if, it's as natural to her as using her hands, like just waving her hand and watching the curtains open, and like this is effortless to her. It's not put on for your benefit. It's just the way that she happens to live her life, kind of thing. But yes, 6,000 for the pair, I believe, would be a most fair price. I am, of course, as I mentioned to you last time, my dear Ganassi, happy to part exchange for any of the tools or potions or scrolls that you may find in my emporium.
I do think we probably need a lot of potions.
Cool. If I remember, you are in dangerous kind of work.
All the time, but this breastplate really saved my hiney. Ding ding ding. Yeah, and Nova's just gonna like blubber, like just endlessly, just trying to cover for the fact that she's also gonna messenger ring everybody, and try and have two conversations simultaneously, one out loud and one to everyone who's got a messenger ring. I've just had a moment where I've realized that I'm trying to barter extraterrestrial technology on a primitive planet, and I don't know whether or not this is the ethically and morally the right thing to do, given that I am bringing futuristic technology, and I have just realized the absolute error of what I've done. But then also, if we are about to go to war with giant, big bad guys from said extraterrestrial technology, should it be responsible to bring the technology to this planet so that we can defend ourselves against that? Oh my god, I'm having an aneurysm.
Nova, take the money. Jesus. It's fine. They're trying to kill us up there. We need to know what we're facing. don't be feeling bad about this. We need the money to defend ourselves, to defeat the people that are up there trying to kill us with this tech that we're now going to sell.
I suppose that we could argue that, like, if we sell her this technology, then she could use this technology to make more technology to protect Aerois against the bad guys up there.
As a point, it's not purely technology. It is heavily based in magic. It's still enchantments. It's just advanced magic, right? Like, this is magic to the point where it becomes almost like technology. It's not like it's a laser gun.
Yeah,
it's not. It's still a crossbow
I'm using the
magic
word technology. Yeah,
to mean
I'm using it
outside of
more as
Aerois.
yeah, like just
Yeah.
technology, not like like science, but just like
A good term
the
for it is
idea of
magitech.
technology.
Magitech is the combination of technology and magic combined. That's what this is. It's magitech.
I think while Nova is rambling, I'll slip the ring off and then say, well, if it's outer-world technology you're interested in, then maybe you'd like the Staff of Striking. Huh? Pretty cool.
She eyes this, and you see, for the first time on this serene woman's kind of expression, there's like the corners of the mouth tilt up into like a little giddy excitement. Yes, I am very interested in this. May I examine it?
Yes, and I would like to remind you, where else are you going to get something like this? No one else has been, like you said, the rumor mill has been spinning up.
She waves her hand and her eyes glow once more. A staff of striking. These are spoken of in ancient historical records. They were often wielded by warriors here on Aerois, but also invaders of the Valkyrian Empire, of the Callus Empire. I've always been fascinated by their accomplishments, the Valkyrian Empire's accomplishments in its magical advancements. Knowledge that we did not have access to here on Aerois. Yes, I'm very interested in this item. It is a very powerful weapon. I'm surprised that you are willing to sell it. I would have thought that to individuals such as yourselves, you would like to keep a potent weapon such as this. Or do you not have another use for it?
Ayla can probably explain this one away.
What?
You are Ayla? Ah, yes,
Hello.
a warrior. Yes, this would be quite a fitting weapon in your hands, would it not?
See, I'm really attached to this giant hammer that I have. And previously, people have taken some other magical things and put them into the hammer somehow. I'm
Yes,
not good
this
with
is,
the magic. But
No, the promise is no different to a blacksmith who has multiple broken weapons, can melt them and reforge them into a new weapon. The process is similar with magic enchantments. It is difficult. Not everyone can do it. Only truly practiced and experienced enchanters can accomplish this, or beings who have an affinity for craft. Those who study the ways of the goddesses, Velena and such, would be suitable at this as well. If you are asking, it is I would be able to perform such a service for you. I would be able to infuse this staff with the aid of some smiths that I know. It is not impossible to do. I will explain the process, however. What I would do is the staff would be condensed and used to forge the haft of your hammer. We would replace the old non-magical haft with the staff and imbue its enchantments to function throughout the rest of the weapon. In doing so, you would lose some of the potency of the staff. Its natural potency as a weapon would be diminished, but its functions to enhance attacks with powerful strikes would remain. I would be glad to do this on the condition that the leftover residuum, this is the material that is left over when condensing magical items, is mine to use as I see fit. In game terms, let me explain. It would basically, rather than being a +3 weapon, the hammer would gain become a +2 weapon. It's a +1 weapon currently, the Howling Tempest. It would get upgraded to a +2 weapon, and it would keep the ability to spend charges to add extra d6 to the attack. So it might lose some of the charges, like it currently has 20, I think. It might go down to like 10 or 15, but you would still keep that ability to expend the charge, and deal extra damage on a hit, kind of similar to like a Divine Smite, Sentry's Divine Smite and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you'd lose a +1, so it'd go from a +3 staff to a +2 hammer, but you'd keep the expend charges to boost attacks.
Let's park that one for now.
Well, the other option
Just okay.
is I would buy this off of you for 20,000 gold.
Holy mother of Siaska.
That's a lot of gold,
So, now,
guys.
Let's print that one.
I'd say like while all of this conversation is going on, Nova, who still hasn't seen that Quill's taken the ring off, is going, oh my gosh, now Quill is giving her the Staff of Striking. I don't think we should. But then and she's going on another monologue, trying to figure it out. But when the woman says 20,000 gold, she just goes, "Holy mother of what?" Prime Directive be damned.
That's a lot of money, right?
Yes,
It is
yes,
more
we
than
currently have
In-
almost well, yeah.
In
Okay.
the messengering, I'm gonna say maybe these are things we shouldn't be selling and trying to put into our own things. Who's got things they need upgrading? Because I mean, honestly, that's a lot of money. We could do. I don't know what to do here, guys. Shall we?
How
Shall we
much
see how
would-
much? How about we see how much we can sell all of our other stuff for as well?
Yeah.
Total up what that amounts, and then we can make a decision on how to get our essential things to keep us alive. And then the
yeah.
nice shiny things that help us hit things hard.
We also need to. We
Indigestion,
also,
like
Right.
more drinks are placed out.
we also need to see how much your enhancement would actually cost as well. If we do put that staff into your hammer or whatever.
She already said she would just take the residuum. So if you,
okay.
she would keep the
Yeah, it
residuum
wouldn't
from
co-
the
it would
process.
be.
It wouldn't cost you anything.
Cost.
It wouldn't cost
How
you
much
anything.
would it cost in theory? How much would it cost to upgrade to a +2 hammer without this
Just
item?
a +2 without the extra stuff, it would be 4,000 gold.
So that's quite a big difference.
But
We
you'd
do that
lose out
5
on the
times.
charge benefit.
Yeah. But I don't want to spend that
Is that all?
amount of money
Do you have
on
anything else that you wish to trade?
Oh, yeah.
lightning
got some
cable
other things.
launcher.
Yes, please. This is I'm afraid that this is not quite as exciting, my dear. An interesting item, but one I have seen a similar design for before. 500 gold for this little device.
Okay.
Damn it.
That's something.
It's not 20k. No. Yeah.
What about
I
this?
don't need it. So.
A stone of good luck.
Ah, that is
You're not
interesting.
going to keep that.
I can't use it.
Its enchantment is very useful. I definitely would have buyers who would be interested in this. 3,000, I believe, would be a fair price for
Wowie.
that stone.
Wowie.
And also my breastplate. I can't wear it. Too heavy.
Armor. I do not normally interest myself in the more mundane items. I can have a blacksmith provide you with a trade. It will basically be whatever it costs in the player's handbook. You'll get half. That's what she'll offer you. She'll just offer you half of the cost of it.
Is
in the
that
I'll
player's
get
handbook.
200.
is that the
for that.
Etherforged?
No,
Is it
Aetherforged would be
Etherforged or is it
different.
regular?
Yeah, this is just normal breastplate.
Okay.
That's just
200
200 gold.
Quill, we could give it to one of the crewmates. If you're not using it anymore.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got a javelin as well that I'm not using that one of them can have if they want.
I must apologize, but yes, such matters I would rather have one of my assistants deal with. I am mainly interested in the esoteric, the enchanted, the magical, the unusual. And what about
Okay,
Guardian? Do you have Lucius, Lord Elenasto, and your Guardian companion? Anything that you would wish to trade?
No, honestly, I've got everything I need here. A quick question for you, though.
Yes, of
have you ever
course.
done any commissions for the royalty?
For Prince Aradan? No, but he has retained my services in other matters. Magic item creation, the royal family have their own history of relics. His sword, for example, that has passed through his generations. But I have done various other things, enchantments for their clothing, some enchanted armor, that sort of thing.
I'll message a ring
potions.
to finally respond to Nova, saying, I think the technology is in good hands, and you're right. We should provide Aerois a better chance of survival, and it's good with this person who's given us the messenger rings. And I'm just staring
I
at...
think you're right, Lucius.
I'm not good at multitasking, so...
Yeah.
Just staring into space. Sentry? Anything Sentry would be interested in trading off for?
She'd just be tapping a tabard, looking around. I have these. I've had these for a while. I pull out like the 2 matrix shards that I think I picked up on like episode 1.
What are those?
I think
I don't even remember those.
So these are shards from a Guardian's Matrix. She got them where you got Gadwin's hammer and where you fought the Forge Guardian.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Dust them off.
Guardian Matrices. Interesting. I've never had one of these come across my desk before. I would be interested in these. I'm afraid they, by themselves, they are not worth much. Much of their energy is dissipated. But to study, 50 gold each, I think, just for these fragments that you have left. I trust that there is no remnant of your spirit in them. These are just remnants of the shards. Then yes, 50 gold or so.
That sounds fair. It'll be interesting to see what you make of them and what you can find out from them. Like, I don't think anyone else besides myself knows how to study guardians or even how to recreate them.
Well, the Archmages of Solvin, if I'm to understand, were the ones who helped create your beings. I've always found the creation of the Guardians to be one of magic's great mysteries. Your kind are phenomenal, magical, incredible. How you possess an intelligence, sentience, without... created by a divine being. It is most intriguing to me. I must admit, as a young woman, I was quite enchanted by the tales of Queen Astoria of Solvin and her magical prowess. Something of a role model, I think.
Oh, I think she was to many.
Indeed,
it's nice to hear.
To many mages. Well, yes, yes. Once I have had time to study them, please come back. If you ever wished for me to, well. You are a living, breathing guardian. I would be most curious to study you myself.
Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever been studied before.
Quill, anybody who's got like a decent passive insight, by the way. Go on, Kim.
Just excuse me. Casually slips open the chapters that Nova's written in a notebook about Sentry.
Oh, right, I see, okay. I don't think you've ever, it's been like a, stand there and pose kind of thing. You've just made notes as you've gone along, right?
I've just been watching her as she's gone down the corridor.
Yeah. Anybody who's got a decent passive insight, and I think Quill maybe would be the only one, you don't get the impression that this woman, Azaria, is looking at Sentry as a person. You get the impression it's like, oh, look, a curious thing that I want to study. Like, it is an object, a weapon, an enchantment, that she wants to unravel, rather than that's a person, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Sentry's worth a lot to us.
Of course, I would make no offer or implication to buy or sell or any such thing.
For 20,000.
We might be able to work something out.
I'm going to assume that wasn't actually in character.
No.
So,
how much would you buy Sentry for?
I wonder how much.
If you ask her in character, she'll tell you.
I don't want to ask her. I wouldn't ask her that.
A quick question. You mentioned the messenger rings for this amount of people was quite the challenge.
Yes.
Could it be extended? A couple more ringies?
This is something I mentioned to your Ganassi friend when they were first purchased. Unfortunately, new connections cannot be added to the rings. I could forge a whole new set, but your current existing rings, once the number was set, it was set. They cannot be expanded upon. I would need to create a whole new set of them.
How much were they to begin with, Nova?
Yes, Nova.
2,000 gold for 5 of them.
There you go.
I wonder if it's worth at least potentially having another set of maybe 2 or 3 that one of us could have, and then members of our ship and our crew could also have, so that we could always have that contact.
Could you enchant one of our current rings to act on both channels of the messenger rings?
It would not. It would be very similar to, in a sense, that would be adding. It would not be to the same network. I am intrigued by the challenge of such an idea, but I cannot promise results. It would be something that I would have to attempt. I would not be able to give you a price until I've had a chance to experiment with it. And of course, any costs in that experimentation I would expect you to pay for.
Could have given Lucius a link to his crew. Captain's communication. That could be useful.
But we do
like
have
I
a message.
said, it is not impossible, but I would need time and funds to experiment. It is not something I've attempted before. It is magic items, relics, enchantments. They are difficult, potent ones. You may have noticed this yourselves. You are only capable of bonding with magical enchantments, a set number of enchantments. This is because the spirit has limitations. There's only so much magic that one can be attuned to at one time. Adding an item that serves a double purpose, that would be an interesting challenge to see if I could make it within the restrictions and limitations of enchantment levels. Interesting, however.
Okay.
I'm sure Starbane could do it. I don't say that.
Maybe.
Okay, I think it's selling all of this stuff and then figuring out what to do with the Staff of Striking. Ayla, it's up to you, really. If you want to enchant the hammer with +2 by just spending 4,000, then we can do that. Or
it's not my decision. No, it's a
if you
great
want the
decision.
enchantment itself,
It's a lot of money.
It's up to you. Either way, the hammer could use an upgrade.
I mean, everything can always use an upgrade.
And we could have 16,000 spare if you want to upgrade it, and we also sell the Staff of Striking.
Nova, what'd you think? You can tell me in a minute what you think. I don't know.
She's
just
frozen
worry
the camera
that...
in phone post.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is all over Messenger ring to Quill. I feel like if something is as powerful as 20,000 gold, should we be selling it or should we be using it to fight shithead up there? You know?
I mean, yeah, we can
That's
definitely...
my worry.
I mean, I'm not going to use it because I actually have more powerful now than this thing. Your hammer, you're not going to use a staff. Lucius isn't going to use a staff. Sentry isn't. Nova definitely isn't. Separate her from Tiangong. Wow.
Well, yeah, but it's also 20,000, and that shouldn't... I don't want to be the one person who's, hogging the 20,000 gold when we can buy a lot of other stuff with it. So
in that case, we go back to what you go back to what you said before. We need money to live.
Yeah.
And 20,000 gold, that'll get a lot of living.
It's a lot of us
it would,
to pay
but
for.
we've also got like 6 grand from selling the other bits and odds and ends.
Looking at our survivability and our combat prowess from a back seat, quite literally, it seems that we are in no short supply of potency. Our ability to inflict damage on others is quite high. However, our potential vulnerability for losing life or going down is also quite high. So maybe we should focus on that 20,000 supplying defenses rather than offenses is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, in that case,
I
we
think
could
so
look
too.
at some kind of enchantments for armor.
Yep. And
that could work.
we can then get Nova her gold goggles or the thing that she wanted to do.
I totally zoned out there for a minute. What? I was thinking about space.
I was just saying that it's selfish for one person to, hog the 20,000 gold in one item when we can use it for many multiple things. So we're probably gonna just, sell it, get the 20 grand.
Spread it.
Siphon that money into armor upgrades, maybe, instead of weapon upgrades.
Yeah.
Get all those potions.
Well, you have all fallen rather silent. I can only assume you are communicating amongst yourselves, as is your right. We have discussed potential sales to me, but is there anything that you wish to buy?
Well, what do you have?
This is how she gets us.
Yep, we've been hooked in.
Potions of healing.
Potions are acceptable. I have a rather large supply of your standard healing potions. Ones of more potency are difficult to manufacture, and it takes me some time, but I have several of the greater and superior varieties.
Very good.
I forget the cost.
I don't need
of
any.
all these things.
I've already got
A
some.
greater healing potion, which I believe is the slightly better than regular, is 250 gold each, whereas the superiors are 750 gold.
Oh, well, I'm fine with the greater for me personally. That seems to fill me right up.
If we buy 2 for everyone, that's 2,500 gold.
Do
Very
we?
well.
I don't have any left at all. I've used mine.
I've still got
Sounds
one.
good.
You've got one? You don't have any sentry?
No, I'm all out.
All out?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we top up, then yeah.
So
And I cannot
9,
interest
then?
you in any superiors of the more impactful potion.
Maybe 1 or 2 might be good in some of our hands.
In an emergency,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yes.
I only have 2 of them available currently in my stores. I have up to 5
Take
of the
your
greater,
entire stock.
2 of the superior. I would welcome it. I would welcome it.
Sure. Yes, is that within our budget, Nova?
If
guess
we
we
sell
just-
things, what are we selling? Are we selling? We're selling. We're selling, then yes. 2,500.
I mean, yes. So, Stone of Good Luck. There you go.
3,000.
Unless anyone else wants this. Hang on. Unless anyone else wants this.
I
You
I
can
do
Can I
not,
touch it one more time?
equip
It's
it.
given me some good luck.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye, good luck, Stony.
It's given you terrible luck. I mean, it's amazing luck.
I could be dead without it. I don't know.
It's incredibly lucky.
I believe that Lord Elanasto's belief in it is perhaps more likely than you think. If he has carried this stone with him, I am sure that it has caused a blow to miss him when it would have otherwise struck him, or perhaps given him the foresight to move out of the way of a magical effect that would have otherwise incapacitated him.
I would have
Yes.
hated to see him if he didn't have this stone. He wouldn't be with us if he didn't have this stone.
So,
Yeah, no, definitely.
Not
the
at all.
stone.
My father
one luck
was,
stone.
he was very
Yes,
into
please.
this sort of thing. He used to call, he had a word for it because he was so invested in luck. And he called it the placebo.
Ah, of course he did. Okay, in that case, Stone of Good Luck. There's that. The armor I think we're keeping for the crew.
So you get the placebo stone, you get lightning cable launchers for me. That's 500. I'll remove that and I'll add the money. Do you want me to carry the money, Nova, in my handy haversack for weight?
We're about to blow most of it, so don't worry about that for now. Don't worry about that. Let's just tot up our shopping list.
Yeah.
So
let's carry
so
on.
far, 5 potions of greater healing, 2 potions of superior healing comes to 2,750 gold. I would also like to spend 1,000 gold on some new lenses for my goggles. I have the spec here, Waves Quill. I also would like to, if we are making a fair amount of money, I would like, in fact, to buy 2 lots of materials for greater healing. Yes. Does anyone else need anything? Lucius wanted some velvet gloves.
Oh, no offense, but I would not shop here for clothing.
Wow.
You do see, like, Azaria's kind of eyebrow does twitch ever so slightly. But the smile stays plastered on her face in a very polite kind of dealing with it. Well, for all 7 of the potions, would be 2,750. What were the components you mentioned, my dear?
I need a focus for the spell scrying, but I'd like to engineer it into my goggles if that's okay.
That is something that can be done. Yes, it may take us a day or so to carve the crystals to the appropriate dimensions, but that could be possible. It will be 1,000 gold. The quality of crystal needed for scrying must be of a very exact clarity. It is very difficult to manufacture, so that is 1,000 gold for the scrying lenses. So
I would also like to purchase 2 lots of materials for the ritual. I have the ingredients of which here. So that total, if no one else wants anything else, comes up to 3,750 gold. If we sell the luck stone,
how much are these
and
components, my dear?
500 gold each, I believe. I checked it earlier.
What's this for?
Our mathematics may be slightly...
Heal greater injury. 500 GP of rare oils, powder made of crushed diamonds and mushrooms. And
that'll be 1,000 for 2.
Yeah, 1,000 for 2. So the total is 3,750 gold to buy things.
My calculations are different. You said you wanted 5 greater healing potions, 2 superior healing potions. That is 2,750 for the potions alone. 1,000 gold for the lenses. There we are, my dear. Excellent. Glad that we are on the same list.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to con you. I'm trying to have 2 conversations at once at the moment.
By all means, my dear, you do not need to keep your conversations clandestine. I'm here as a business opportunity. We are in my parlor. I consider us to be in a safe place of information, and we are conducting a transaction. You do not need to have telepathic communication.
You probably didn't want to hear my long, winding discussion and philosophical answerings on the Prime Directive and technology in the hands of certain people. But that's fine.
Oh, that reminds me. I should put this back on. Okay.
Hey.
So we've got 3,500 worth of stuff here for payment for those things. And there was also some other things everyone else was selling.
There was
also the stuff that Nova was selling on top of the stuff. Oh, so far, all we've given her is the ring, is the stone, and the lightning cable launcher.
Lightning launcher.
Yes.
Did anybody? So what was the decision on the staff? Sorry, I was zoning out when you decided on the staff. Yay or nay?
Selling it.
Selling it. Okay, so that's 20,000.
Allow me to save you some time, my dear. Allow me to save you some time.
I think we can afford
The luck stone, the lightning cable, the crossbow, the hammer, and the staff of striking would, to my calculations, come to 20,000, 27, 28, 28,500 gold.
Ooh. Sentry, did you want to include your shards in that?
I will.
28,700.
There we go.
28,700 GP. In terms of your purchases so far, would be 4,750. Shall we say, knock it down to 4,700 to round things off, leaving you with a total net sum of 24,000 gold that you may leave here with today. I would hope that it would be suitable to provide you some of this payment in the form of some pressed platinum bars, perhaps a few gemstones. I do not imagine you wish to carry it all in raw coinage.
I got a bag.
Ah,
You can put it in the bag.
Just FYI, I've put it in my inventory as the
I
quartermaster.
thought you were going to say the chest. Let's just put it in this chest.
In the chest.
I mean, he's
the
going to
big
use
chest
it.
is on the ship. I have to go back and put it in there, but I will do. I 100% will do. So I'll put it in my inventory. 24,000 gold is in there. I'm going to keep it as just
No,
gold as well.
do you want me to put it in my haversack?
As long as
so that
somebody
we actually
has it.
have it.
Oh, no, I just mean so that it exists somewhere as the quartermaster.
That's what I'm
I'll
saying.
put the
Do you
gold
want-
in there. Yeah.
Here's an idea.
You're putting it
What
in
if
the
you
chest?
both write it down?
I'm
To be
putting
safe.
it fucking...
I'm writing it down in my
putting it-
journal. Whatever happens, it's going in my
In
journal.
world,
So.
I am not carrying 24,000 gold
No, so
in
in
platinum.
world, Ayla is putting like various, and it's
put it
not
in
like
the
gold coins.
haversack.
Exactly. So Ayla has got like bars and gemstones, but you have 24,000 gold's worth of materials in the bag.
Yeah.
Tom has just written it on his inventory as a reminder that that's how much you have. And no kid now has a copy as well.
So
That's
we're
it.
doing 24,000 gold.
Yes.
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 Right.
And then you also
so-
now have
In
5
the bag.
greater healing potions. Somebody write this down. You have 5 greater healing potions.
Yep.
2 superior healing potions. Nova specifically has 2 costings of heal greater injury, and the 1,000 GP focus for scrying, which is specifically on Nova.
Yeah, on my goggles.
Are you going to divvy
Right.
these greater out, or should we do it later?
Yeah.
100%
We can
yes,
do it later.
right now. Everyone
one in.
Everyone
just
write
put one in
down
your
one-
inventory right now.
Put 1 greater
One
healing
greater
potion,
healing.
and then that means Nova has 2. So, the bag has 2 or whatever.
Done. Added.
Because Quill already had 1.
Added.
So
Lovely.
Oh, so I'm not getting one.
that's what I assumed.
No,
Quill
everyone
had
gets
2.
one.
There you go.
Everyone gets one. I don't care what happens. Everyone gets one.
Sure.
Of
Cool.
course, this technology, this magitech that we are providing you is of very alien design and superior to that of anything on Aerois. I assume you'll keep this relatively secret
Of
to
course.
yourself.
Of course. It would be foolish of me to hand out the secrets to potentially new enchantment designs that I could monopolize as a businesswoman.
I believe we've put it in safe hands, and if the
I
technology...
thank you for your belief, Mr. Elenaster.
And my question about nobility earlier is that if you were to provide some knowledge on your understandings of this stuff, having us giving it to you, I'm sure you would help Gusthaven and Aerois as a whole.
I'm sure that the Sky Prince and I can come to an understanding on how best to use this knowledge,
Thank you very much.
and how I can be adequately compensated for it.
Of course, it's all business, but
Indeed.
the fate of the planet, I'm sure you'd be right there with us to help.
Is there something that I should be concerned with in particular?
There's always a threat. You've seen the problems with Gusthaven recently.
I would not put Cloud Barons as a threat to Aerois as a world, however. Are you telling me that there is something more dangerous that I should be aware of?
Haven't we got a meeting very shortly? I'm so
We
sorry
do.
to do
We
this,
do.
but we have so much to do today, and we're only having a fleeting visit.
Of course. I will have, and she gestures, the potions and the ingredients that you have requested are already prepared for you. You shall have them as you leave here. Your lenses, Nova, is it? Your lenses will be ready by the end of today. Simply come back and collect them at your convenience.
Excellent. Would it cost extra to have them sent to a ship called the Storm Chaser at the
No.
docks?
I can have that. I can have them delivered to your ship if you wish.
Thank you.
Also, if your ship, I believe it came into port under considerable damage. If you are working with any of the shipbuilders here and you wish to have any magical enhancements made, please keep me in mind. I'm sure that something like that could be arranged.
We will.
Yes, quite.
That may require not just gold, but rare components. I have spoken with several of the shipbuilders on some of my schematics, and they have agreed various rare components from creatures or beings, magical beings, could be used to help facilitate upgrades to your vessel, or any vessel, really.
Would there be some form of magical, such as the Sky City itself is protected in its own ecosphere, so to speak? Is there a level of defense that can be provided by magic itself, like a shield?
Difficult to do on such a large vessel. Even Gusthaven's atmospheric shielding would not protect against magical spells or against dragon's breath or such. It is really just to keep the atmosphere, bad weather outside. It would be difficult. Things such as reinforcements to your hull and strengthening the wood magically, or adding armor plating, creating magical sails that are more resistant. Those things can be accomplished, but a whole shield that encapsulates the ship, I'm afraid that the area is simply too large to replicate.
Right, so enhancements to certain components could be done.
Oh yes, most certainly. And of
Worth
course,
considering.
if there were devices beyond Aerois from the other planes, if one were to be able to visit such places, I'd be very interested in studying that, seeing if certain technologies that the Dragonborn protect, for example, could be applied to our own vessels, so that one day the people of Aerois may explore beyond our world.
Wouldn't that be something?
There's nothing out there. It's just
I've never been. It's flat.
Yeah.
How curious. How curious.
Anyway.
Thank you so much for your business today. I am so welcomed and so pleased that you would consider our family as your option for this business. Do take care. And she nods her head.
Likewise. Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing what you discover out of.
Yes,
Looking
and
forward
please,
to-
my dear guardian, do remember my offer. I would be most keen
Thank
to
you.
study you in detail.
Yeah, me first. Bye.
And with that, shopping is
I'm gonna-
concluded. At
I'm
least
going to
for
rush
now.
back to the airship. I'm going to put it all in my chest. I'm going to shrink it down, put it in a different dimension. Yeah!
Then lose it forever.
And it's lost
Secret
forever.
chest. Secret chest!
Secret
Who
chest.
gets your breastplate?
Oh, can we give it to
which-
Howard?
Which member of the which one? Which one gets your-
Basically, any mundane gear you guys have, you can just start farming out to the crew. If you give it to Kamara, Kamara will basically assess who it will fit best. So things like the breastplate, it wouldn't fit Howard, and also Howard wouldn't know how to wear it. He doesn't know how to wear. He's never worn armor in his life. He's a cook.
He's too little.
He's too little.
I need to
But
protect my
somebody
boy.
like Penny, who is like more of a regular fighter and who does do a lot of fighting on the ship, probably could wear it. Same with Lancian, same with the Wolfpack. Even Kamara herself probably would wear the breastplate first because she's like one of the key main fighters. If anybody boards the ship, she's in the melee, you know? So she'd probably be like, I'm going to wear this, and then as they get pieces, she'll farm it out to everyone. The other thing you could do is like, you guys could just be like, yeah, we want to buy 12 sets of studded leather armor and equip the crew with that. We want to buy 12 thunder rifles, and we're going to buy
That
those
might
for the
be a
crew.
good
and stuff like
idea. Yeah.
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 Okay.
The other thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to take up too much time with the shopping stuff,
Yeah.
if you go to Lily and Sprocket for the shipbuilding, they're doing the repairs. You can buy upgrades to the ship, right? Now that the ship has been for a while and you have the money, things like reinforcing the hull. It's not magical. It just costs money. You have to reinforce each section of the ship. So hull, helm, engines, sails are all separate components. Reinforcing them will double their hit points. So each section of the ship. So like the hull's hit points is currently 300. You could double it to become 600 hull points.
Whoa.
It costs 10 grand to do that because it's like metal armor on the ship itself. Things like reinforcing the engine would double the engine's hit points. That costs 5,000. And then the helm and the sails cost 2,000 each, but it doubles their hit points. So it's quite a worthwhile investment facing things like meteor swarms.
where our
Things like
money
magical
goes.
upgrades. Well, again, this is something to think about. You don't have to spend it now. Things like magical components, things like dragon scale sails. These would increase the sail's AC and would give it resistance to certain damage types. The difference with some of this stuff is it needs rare components that you would have to go and get from, say, a dragon. So if you want red dragon scale sails to give your sails resistance to fire, you're going to need to go find an adult red dragon and kill it, and then bring the body back, right?
Oh, I'm sure the
That's
dragon
pretty
would
cool.
Other ones that you could
love
do-
That would
that.
look really cool.
Other ones that you could
Yeah,
do...
imagine flying
there's-
back to Vivex with that. Like, don't worry, we just skinned a great red dragon and now
Oh,
it's
yeah,
on
true,
ourselves.
yeah.
Boom. By the way, we've
You're
been
already-
spying on you. How's the little pseudo dragon?
Already in your
Other things that you
Exactly.
could do, there's a thing called the live wood hull, which is basically you would need to get the aid of a very powerful fey creature, like a powerful ent or a dryad. This would give your hull regenerating HP. So it would regenerate 1 hit point every 10 minutes. Which means that, like, if you just left the ship there, it would slowly repair its own hull. You'd never have to buy hull repairs again.
Wait, would that be... If we had that and we had a meteor swarm attack us, could we just leave the ship for X amount of time and it would just repair?
It would just repair itself. The only thing is if it obviously reduces the hull to 0 hit points, the ship crumbles into pieces and it's destroyed. Yeah, So it has to have at least 1 hit point remaining for it to regenerate. So if you ever get to 0 hit points on the hull, the ship's destroyed. But if you had at least 1 hit point left and you had a livewood hull, you'd be able to regenerate hit points if you just left it there for a while. The only thing is you can only have, like, you can either have the reinforcement or the livewood hull. You can't have both. You have to choose which one you want to have. Other things that they could construct is like a special figurehead at the front of the ship. You could have like, so the 3 examples is you could have it's called a guardian figurehead, but it would allow the captain to transform the figurehead into an iron golem for 1 minute. You can use it every 24 hours. Costs gold, but you would also need to have an iron golem to put in it, which means going and finding an iron golem and, rebuilding it. You could have a storm giant figurehead.
I just got a vision of a giant Lucius on the front of the ship, though.
And then it comes to life like a big
that he'd make
Lucius.
it himself, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It would be his own face.
You could add a storm giant figurehead, which allows you to project like a line of lightning. Very fitting for the storm chaser, perhaps. To do that costs gold, and you'd need to have a metal pole charged with storm giant's lightning. So you'd need to either go and find a way to get a storm giant to actually ignite the pole.
Don't we have that kind of on the ship already? We built a lightning rod.
Nope.
And
was it a storm
giant?
giant?
It channels the lightning. It channeled the lightning into me.
The storm giant did communicate through the storm.
Did it? Was it? Where's the storm giant? What storm giant are you talking about?
Yeah,
storm
giant?
Fucking 4, bruh!
A storm giant!
A different dimension!
Storm giant!
Yeah!
He basically was! He's a storm boy!
Different quality
Things like
of lightning.
arcane ballistas. If you want to get like elemental ballistas, so rather than shooting like physical ammunition, you could upgrade them to be like, elemental cannons that shoot like ice or fire or lightning and stuff. But that's all stuff to think about. If you want to get that stuff upgraded, that's stuff you can do. All right?
Oh, I want all of it.
I want all of it.
Yeah,
Right.
We can
with
talk about that one offline.
Talk about that one. With shopping done, I think that basically, before we take a break, you guys will make your way to Gale Crown, which is the palace of Gusthaven, to meet with Sky Prince Aradan. And when we come back from the break, we will have a meeting with them. Does that sound good?
It's been so long.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's
a
I
lot
sent
of,
you a message about another little errand that Ayla wanted to do.
Okay,
on
sure.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I will have a look at that during the break. But yeah, I think we've had a lot of very intense episodes. We needed a little bit of admin and a little bit of like buying and selling and just not being attacked for 5 minutes. But when we get back, we will have the meeting with the Sky Prince, and we can crack on with everything that's going on. All right?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Now we're 24,000 richer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
See, keeping track of loot is worthwhile.
It is. It is.
Cool. Tommy's going to read some messages.
Yeah,
He
but
is.
before you both, any of you leave, I just want to talk about these 2 very large donations we've got here.
What?
One is from Indigo Fox, which is for $400.
Oh, thank you so much.
That says, "Clear skies and Happy New Year. I started watching you guys last Easter, and when I started playing D&D. Thank you so much for everything you do to keep us entertained. It really means a lot to me."
Good
well,
Lord.
Holy crap. Thank you very much, Indigo
Very
Fox.
kind. Very generous.
Thank you very much.
Very, very, very generous. And also, there was a donation from Crispy, and I don't know what this translates to in pound sterling, but it's $769.
Wow.
And 32
What?
cents.
69 though.
Thank
Nice.
you.
I don't know what that is in pounds. Maybe 500, maybe more. But either way, thanks for providing such wonderful entertainment
Yeah.
every week. You make life that much more enjoyable to a large number of people. My wish for you and the High Rollers family is for clear skies and fair winds in 2021.
Aw.
Yeah, 2021. Hopefully clear skies in that one. Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
I
you very
love
much.
that that's become our thing, like with the audience, that the audience will send us messages saying clear skies. I love that that's a thing that you guys
that was
tell
the
us.
point. That was the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear skies.
Yeah, so thank you very
Alright.
much, Indigo Fox and Crispy. And
Thank
I will
you
read
very
the rest
much.
Thank you very
now.
much.
Thank
both of
you.
Super
Yeah,
generous.
thank you.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
There he goes. There he goes.
Oh, here he comes. All right. Hi, everyone. It's me, the donation reader, back again with a donation from A.L. Wolf, which is for $68 dues. Thank you very much. I have loved High Rollers for a long time. I got some Xmas bonus money left over, and I wish to share it with you lot. Let's hope this new year is amazing for everyone. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. This is the year. Make it happen. Fight for your right to party. Don't know why I said that. Thank you very much, A.L. Wolf. Key King 73. Thank you very much with a donation that says, I've been on VOD Squad for the past 3 years and still am, and thought I'd drop in to donate. Funny note, all these years I've been hearing this Nightjar fella's name. Turns out he goes to the same university as me. What a crazy small world. Well, there you go, Nightjar. Look out for Key King 73. Amy the Irish. Hi, Rollers. Happy New Year. I've just been accepted for an internship at Auckland Zoo to accompany my zookeeping course. This week's zoo fact: sun bears, the smallest bear species, build nests in trees to sleep in. I want a sun bear. Hang on, let me just Google that real quick. Sun bear. Oh, okay, yeah, they're pretty good. They build nests. Nightjar has donated with multiple sentry pops and a heart at the end. Thank you very much, Nightjar. The Big Friendly Viking with a donation and no message. Thank you very much. And that Norwegian guy, $10 dues. Cheers for the stream, guys. Quite all right. Quite all right. And we also have some more Ghost in Progress with a half hundo. VOD Squad for me, but I wanted to stop by and say Happy New Year. Here's to Mark's beautiful, unending supply of gay NPCs and hopefully less Lucius trauma. Oh no, we've got plenty of Lucius trauma on the way. That's guaranteed.
Yeah, it is actually guaranteed. Yeah,
that's guaranteed. But thank you very much, Ghost in Progress, for a very generous donation. And Varys has donated $10 dues with no message. Thank you very much. And that is the lot, not counting gifted subs, which I think we'll go through at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Entertain everyone, Tom, until Truck gets back and can switch off. Switch you away. Wow. Really? That's what you go for?
More. Faster. Faster.
Stop. Stop. You're going to kill him. Fuck's sake. This is the chaos. When it's just left to Tom Hazel, this is what you get.
Yep. Man, 96 episodes of Aerois. You know what? We've got the birthday of High Rollers very, very soon on the 17th of January.
100 episodes nearly.
Also, 100 episodes. Not too much after that. 100 episodes of Aerois.
No, it's crazy.
How far we've come. Level 13.
Did we get up to 100 with Lightfall?
No,
yeah,
I think
just about.
Did we?
Did we?
Yeah,
about,
we did.
Yeah.
Just about.
Didn't we finish on 100?
It was close to.
It
was very. I think it was like 103.
Nicely.
I think you guys like fought Falania in episode 100, but then we did the Korak Brasaris stuff for a few episodes afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man.
No, we finished on 84.
84, and then we had.
Did we?
Yeah, then we had the
we did,
Lightfall Return.
Descent.
What was that called again?
Yeah.
Descent, yeah.
I guess Descent. Yeah, the Descent. Yeah, the Descent.
But that was 10 episodes,
Lightfall's
so we did
Descent,
94 episodes.
Oh, God, really? 83? Was it only 83 episodes?
Oh. Well, I guess it
Yeah,
was. We did what 2 years of
Oh, yeah,
that, and we've almost
finale,
done
yeah.
3 years. Oh well, it'll be 3
Yeah.
years in the summer of Aerois. So, yeah.
That's
God,
nuts.
how's that
Yeah.
So
possible?
we've outraced Lightfall.
Yeah.
Screw you, Lightfall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
And also,
Is Trot fallen down the stairs or something?
I think he has.
Probably.
He's just gone.
Or he's got a Mochi to deal with. Mochi's running around
Yeah.
doing something.
doing something she shouldn't be.
So
there's a
I'm
message
trying to
from
think of
Nightjar
like
as well from in
Yeah.
relation to a previous donation. Whoever that is that you think is going to your university, that ain't Nightjar.
that ain't Nightjar because Nightjar
That ain't
is
Nightjar.
not a fella and doesn't go to uni. So
Yeah, I was going to say. So that ain't Nightjar. But
She's a
Lel.
lady.
funny. I'm trying to think because
Whoa.
I'm trying to think we had because not just Lightfall and Aerois, but I'm sure if you add up like all of the miniseries episodes, we've got to have done nearly 300 episodes, I think,
what total?
of like total like 300
just
like videos.
High Rollers D&D.
Have
Yeah.
we done 100 episodes of? Okay, we got Dead Reckoning, we got Uncharted Territory, we got Rogue's Gambit.
Then we did Lightfall Descent. I guess that's in Lightfall, so we
Oh,
count
hang
that as
on.
that one.
We've got a ton of Curse of Strahd.
Curse of Strahd,
Yeah.
Kim's one shots,
Do they count? Yeah.
all the extra sponsored stuff we've done, like the one-offs and one-shots and stuff. Cyberpunk.
Done. Cyberpunk. That
There's a
counts.
lot. I mean, it's
Add 'em
high
all
rollers
together.
videos for sure.
Yeah,
So
add
That's
them
a
all
lot.
together. Let us
We
know.
have.
In fact,
Yeah.
all right, Tom, do you want to quickly
Dead
grab a drink, or
Reckoning.
you're right?
I was just gonna rip a fat vape.
God's sake.
Like sake.
Oh my lord.
Xmas specials, yeah, yeah. There's a lot. Right, with everyone back, we all good? Rhiannon's just like, what you got there? Cake? You eating a cake? What are you eating? Chocolate?
Is it a whole
Chocolate?
mince pie in your mouth? Not this time, because that was brilliant. That was a beautiful moment for
Beautiful.
everyone.
Just Rhiannon.
I have a whole tray of pigs and blankets to eat after this, so yeah.
I'm
Another
so
hour and a half
jealous.
to go. Now
Oh
they're in the
my
other room.
God.
Is
I'm
it just
so
like stuff that you
jealous.
had left over from Christmas? We're just waiting. By the way,
My
chat,
darling-
we're waiting for Tom Hazel to finish ripping his fat vape, as he called it.
He's owned it.
Yeah. My darling Mark, I
Yeah, no.
went during Christmas and bought 16 boxes of pigs and blankets in the
16?
Waitrose
Problem.
deal.
think I had
There
a
was a deal.
problem.
Waitrose had an amazing deal, basically, and I hoarded pigs and I love pigs and blankets.
Why
and I don't
didn't
ever
you
have them any
tell
other time of
me
year.
about the deal?
I'll give you some.
Actually, it's
boo.
probably
I'll
for the
give you some,
best.
boo.
It's probably for the best,
Yeah.
honestly.
I'm assuming that's a
I'll
cat.
slide
some through
your
that.
post box.
Oh, okay.
That's
an
Valerie
upside-down
sleeping
cat.
right next
It's
to
a
me right now.
flipped
Anyway,
bolero.
D&D.
Shall we play some D&D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Get that dog out
I
of
really
here.
want
Can't
pigs
play
and
D&D.
blankets now.
I'll
Stop
post
thinking
I'll
about
post
it.
some through your letterbox. It's fine.
Okay. So we begin our second half. As night begins to fall over Gusthaven, you make your way to the very prominent, very affluently decorated, noble section of the city, kind of nestled between several different districts, namely the Azure Bright Plaza. Gale Crown looks over the whole rest of the Sky City itself. Projected from its tallest peaks is this prismatic shield that seems to kind of cover the whole Sky City, keeping out the errant winds and colder weather of being so high up in the air. You are escorted by guards. You are given a armed retinue that helps escort you to the castle through it. You notice as you make your way that a lot of the castle is perhaps a little bit more barren than it was once before. There was a lot of ostentatious decoration before. A lot of that seems to have been taken away or removed. Great kind of like tapestries and silks and suits of armor that you remember being there and no longer there, giving the palace a much more kind of minimalist, austere kind of feeling to it. You're eventually led into a not very large, kind of much more smaller, intimate dining room where a large table has been set out for dinner. And you are welcomed inside by the guards, a few kind of aides. There's not really many servants or anything like that. It's mainly guards, and then a couple of assistants lead you inside and bid you to take a seat while they go and fetch the Sky Prince, where you are left momentarily by yourselves.
Does it look like it's a deliberate design thing, this minimalist thing, or does it actually look like just stuff has just been like ripped off the walls and just...
I would say ripped off the walls. Like, it doesn't look like there's been like any
looting,
violence or anything like that. But yeah, it is something you would definitely, I think Quill especially would notice with the perception and stuff, that like, and there's still furniture left, but it's the more kind of ostentatious, the more sort of like expensive items that didn't really serve a purpose. Anything that was more decorative and didn't really serve a purpose have been removed.
Okay. Weird.
Lucius.
Yes.
Nice gloves, by the way. I've never been to dinner with a prince. What do you do? What do you don't do? What's the etiquette? What's the deal with the forks and the tiny spoons?
Oh, don't worry about that. There's usually people that provide the cutlery in order, and you just work outwards to inwards. Out to in.
Okay.
You work on the little dainty ones, and they get bigger and bigger towards the middle as the food gets bigger, you see.
What if you don't want to use the tiny dainty forks because they're stupid and you can't eat as much with them?
Well, that's fine. Absolutely. You just choose what you'd like to use, and I'm sure they will accommodate your needs.
As Lucius is speaking,
Cool.
The doors open, and in steps a much more casually dressed Sky Prince, Aradan. To describe him from what he was before, he is about Lucius's age, so he's still quite a young high elf in terms of age, but he looks, that kind of agelessness that a lot of elves have. He has long brown hair, wears kind of robes and clothing cut of whites and blues. There is a large sword that he normally carries, but you see that a smaller, slender rapier is at his side. With a large cloak. His eyes are a very soft pale blue, and he just has very sharp angular features. He looks very traditionally elven. On one arm, though, he wears like these. He wears like a big, thick falconry glove on one arm, and perched on it is a very strange-looking white owl with a kind of very glowing, almost like a glowing star moat above its head, like a little sigil that kind of twists its neck around with a little tiny beak. Kind of glances around at everything. When he enters, there are no servants with him. He just enters by himself, shuts the doors behind him, and you see his kind of expression lighten as he sees you. He's just like, I'm so glad that you could all join me for this dinner. Thank you so much for coming. He lifts up the arm, and the owl flies from it to a small perch next to one of the chairs and begins just pecking away at some sort of maybe like a little bowl of nuts or fruit that's been laid out. And the prince begins taking his gloves off and places it on the thing. He's just like, I hope that it's all right. I've kept things quite simple. This is no opulent dinner or anything like that. Something a bit more casual. Some food will be brought through shortly, but it will simply be a couple of courses. Nothing too fanciful. I hope that is okay.
More than adequate, Your Highness. Thank you kindly for inviting us to dinner. And I do a very eloquent bow.
Please, Lucius, there's no need for any of that. I think that the services that you have rendered Gusthaven, and from what I am told by Hesper, your services to Aerois there is no need to bow. If anything, I should be bowing to you, I think is more appropriate. What you have done for our world and for Gusthaven is apt. Still, please, let's take a seat, have some wine. I would very much like to hear some of the things from your own mouths. I'm led to understand that from Hesper, he has spoken to me in my dreams. You have solved the storms over Voxar. That was you. You've done this.
Yes, it was a byproduct of this staff of oracles. A dragon, Johandrius, played with nightmares.
Well, you must tell me the story. Let us please tell me exactly everything that has happened. Whilst we have food, please, I wish to hear it. If you would be so kind.
Left you?
Well, if you've had more adventures than ending the storms over Voxar, I would be delighted to hear them as well.
Oh well. I mean,
this might
you don't have
take
to
quite a while.
I would gladly welcome that. We have wine, we have food. I can have the fire lit, and I have nowhere else to be this evening. I've cleared my schedule, and I could do with just listening to a story for a few hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Nova has it all written down.
Oh,
well, I was going to say you don't have to recite everything that's happened in the campaign.
I was waiting to hear Tom Hazel recite everything in exact detail, especially about the metal crates.
Who I get is this like some one person tells the whole story, or is this like Quill starts telling about this and then Nova jumps in and adds detail, and then Lucius tells the next bit, and then Ayla talks about there was this cool worm and we beat it up, and then it was a good worm and then it was fine. Is there and then Sentry tells about some of the connections and stuff like that.
The entire story isn't necessarily this well-written story. It's all of us just jumping in. It's like, oh, and there was this other bit where we we went to the city of glass, and the airship exploded, and now Sentry is the prime, and all of that.
It's not in the right order either.
It's just all over the place. Yeah, true.
Yeah, we keep jumping back.
The food that's brought in is quite simple affair. It's good. It's well made, but it's not lavish or extravagant. There are not multiple small forks, Lucius. There is no vast amounts of cutlery. There is one set of cutlery. That's it. Wine is brought in. It's good wine, but it's kept very minimal. As the dinner goes on. But the Sky Prince listens intently, with absolute captivated attention to all your stories, asking questions here and there. Especially when speaking about worlds beyond Aerois, you can just see amazement and curiosity lit up in the Sky Prince's face. Just kind of listens to everything. And when it all comes to a culmination, you just kind of, having had a little bit of wine and good food, he just sits back and is like, well, I had believed that you had accomplished much simply based on my knowledge of your cleansing of the storms, but it seems that even that is but a pale shadow of all that you have accomplished.
We've done a lot, actually.
You have indeed.
I think we've spoken enough, though, of our achievements. What of Gusthaven? It seems that things have calmed somewhat.
Calmed is a word. I believe that our mutual enemies, these Cloud Barons, they are still active. I do not know if you have heard, but airships have been attacked more frequently. Several of them have gone missing entirely. I believe that the Cloud Barons, I believe that they may be they may be working with Callus Valkyrian. I believe that everything you have told me and what was uncovered before, I believe that there is a connection. They are too organized. They have magic and technology that they did not have access to before. But it seems that Gusthaven, at least, has become less important to them. I don't know. Things have been calmer here. The difficulty I now face is that with less airships coming in, trading is the lifeblood of Gusthaven. Without trade, we must be very careful with our finances. I have expended most of the royal treasury and have done what I can to make sure that we have plenty, that the people and the merchants and the people that keep the city going really have everything they need. It has not earned me favors with some of the noble families, but I have done what I need to. Still, that is really a minor complaint in the grand scheme of things. One thing I did wish to speak with you all about was this upcoming meeting in Horizon. My hope is that you will accompany me as both guests and as my personal guards. I'm sure that you have already considered that it is highly likely that this is a target by some attack, either by the Cloud Barons or by Callus, this Starbane, manifested once again from everything you have told me. I think it likely, and so I can think of no one better to not only protect me, but to give your own input and your insight into this meeting with the leaders than yourselves. I think that coming as my guests will give you some credibility, and will also be a show of power for Gusthaven, therefore mutually beneficial, I would hope.
Very kind. I believe we were also invited ourselves anyway, due to our dealings with the Dragonborn and the Council. We've passed through Vivex.
The Dragonborn are... I sincerely hope that we can convince them to keep their zealotry in check. I know that they have a deep hatred for this Callus, and they take the defense of Aerois extremely seriously, but I fear that they're a people of war, and Aerois is not. Aerois has had 500 years without it, and I fear that there may be a mismatch of cultures to blame there.
True.
Still,
though, perhaps we could learn from them too.
Indeed.
As much as we'd like to feel that we are peacefaring, war is upon us. Maybe we need that stern strength.
We will certainly need their strength, most definitely. My intention was to travel by... Sentry, sorry, my apologies.
Sorry, no, they were an ally to us during the Sundering. We're going to need them again.
Oh yes, I'm certain. I just hope that these past 500 years have not clouded their judgment in the matter. I know that they greatly miss their home, and they, whilst they have become allies here, they are very vocal in their You are right. They are allies. We must trust them and hope that they will come to our aid once more. I intended to travel by teleportation circle to Horizon. That will allow me to take up to 8 companions. I believe that with your ship damaged, you are in need of transportation. It would make sense for us to travel together. I have also arranged to have a private ship of my royal guards fly to Horizon and meet us once the talks have begun. Both to provide as a unit of backup if we need it, but also as an alternative escape route if we cannot use the teleportation circles to return.
That seems perfect to us. We were looking for transport, and we'd be more than happy to provide you with protection en route.
I think that I would feel safer with that, most certainly. And I think that your presence, I did not realize that you had all been invited individually, but I think that your presence is necessary. The other leaders need to know what you have accomplished. They need to know that you are fighting for Aerois' best interests.
On the topic of world leaders, who is attending? Do you know exactly? Who is representing?
There are various factions. Some of them are in constant fluctuation. My understanding is the Princess of Giselle will be in attendance. The Council of Vortensar will be sending an emissary, if not the head of their council themselves. The continents of Al-Saraf and Ziena are difficult. Their power structures are always changing. They do not have as established societies as the others. And the dwarves of Suvona are still bickering amongst them who would actually attend, but somebody will be attending for Goldthrone and somebody will be attending for Bloodvale. One of the two main families, I imagine, will send someone to attend in that matter. From Voxar, I imagine one of the druids will attend in their place to speak on their behalf. And from the archipelagos, I do not know. Again, they tend to be more mercantile in their leadership, so I'm not familiar. They have various different heads of departments and various trade delegations. I'm imagining that they will send someone from there. And then, of course, the dragons. One of their dragons will attend with an accompaniment of guards.
Any advice as a prince?
No, I'm afraid that my politics have been limited to here in Gusthaven for so long. I know the leader of Horizon somewhat. She is an interesting character. Lucius, I think that one thing you should be aware of is that Horizon has had a troubled history with high elves. It is something that I have worked hard to overcome, but their history is a very dark one for our people, especially. Many people in Horizon they were abandoned and nearly killed by the high elves who ruled over Horizon before it was reclaimed by its people. The leader is wise, if a little fiery in her temperament, but she is wise and she is noble of heart. But it is something that you must remember, that your heritage, your nobility, will account for very little in Horizon. You will be treated no differently than another citizen, as will I, as will any high elf who attends. Something to be aware of, perhaps.
I rarely utilize it anymore anyway. We go on the merits of what we've achieved as this party.
I think that is, in a way, a far more noble achievement and a far better way to live. Still, in terms of other recommendations, Horizon is a wonderful city. It is truly a testament to what Aerois is capable of. It is many different people all living in one place, functioning together. A true mixing of cultures. I think that it is a good place to us to look towards for the future of our world. Apart from that, I'm afraid I have very little. I'm still quite new to all of this myself, as you witnessed with the dealings with Aerois and these cloud barons. Politics is not my strong point. There is one matter that I wish to discuss further, and perhaps I think it's perhaps time that my other guest did show themselves. He gets up, moves over to a window, opens it, sticks his head out and says, "Yeah, you should probably come in now. You've been up there for some time." And as he steps back, a very slender female form wearing tight-fitting leather armor and a long cape and a mask enters, moving very silently. This kind of opal face mask with a crescent moon shape along the front of it. You may have seen posters for this figure in the city in your last visit. She is called Moonstar. The Aerois and several of the others had convinced me that she was a threat to the city. However, with Aerois's true nature and the Cloud Barons themselves, she approached me with evidence towards several other members, and we have been working together in secret to try and uncover them. I felt that it is important that she meet with all of you as well, as the ones who were partly responsible for Aerois's capture.
We have met before, actually, shortly before leaving Gusthaven last time. It's nice to see you again, Moonstar.
The figure just nods her head and kind of with that magical kind of voice alteration, which kind of makes it sound like a very garbled version of a woman's voice. She speaks back and just says, like, "Indeed, I hope that your travels have been fortuitous."
Yep.
Nova's just like nudging Lucius and like kind of trying to be subtle but not so like Lucius.
Yes. Fortuitous, yes. Quite busy.
Ayla's just
Very
not
busy.
she's just gonna not say anything because she feels like if she says one thing, she'll give it all away, and that's she's like, no,
Sure.
no,
Nope.
not gonna.
Moonstar kind of moves in. I do not wish to take up too much of your time, but the Sky Prince was insistent that I meet you as his only allies that he truly trusts. The Cloud Barons are still at large. You should know that Aerois was not the end of it. He was but one head of a Hydra, a creature that is operating through much of Gusthaven's nobility, but also amongst the other Sky Cities as well. Their crimes against the Elanasto family, she nods in Lucius's direction, as well as many others, have still gone unpunished. Their ringleaders are still out there. They still pose a threat. I have uncovered some information, and together the Sky Prince and I have taken various members of their faction down, but they are still out there. I have some information, specifically information for Lucius, and I suppose the rest of you, given your connection with him and his associates. When you are finished speaking with the Sky Prince, I would wish to speak with you in private as well.
Absolutely.
Very well.
It should also be noted, I will also be accompanying you on this mission to Horizon. The Sky Prince has asked me to be... Yes. The Sky Prince trusts me. I have equipment that I think will be useful in keeping him protected. I believe him to be a good man and a good protector of this city that I call home. With that, I shall find you later. Sky Prince.
Oh.
I'm afraid that I do not have time to sit around and dine and drink wine. There are still those out there that need to be brought to justice. And then she runs out and jumps out the window.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, she does that, I'm afraid. Very dramatic. Like leaving a bit of an impression.
Lucius pushes his plate and his wine away from himself and then doesn't eat or drink anymore.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was hoping that would be more of a conversation, really. But I wanted you to be aware that she is somebody I trust. The information that she has provided me, the actions she has taken against the Cloud Barons, I genuinely think that she is working for the benefit of the people of Gusthaven. However, there are still people amongst the nobility that... I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. Some of the nobility, and especially amongst the guard, still consider her a criminal, and so meeting with her is had to become something of a clandestine endeavor.
Are you not worried about? Okay. Are you not worried about the Moonstar just being at this meeting? Everyone to see them?
Oh, well, you have seen how she is. I imagine that she will not be revealing herself. More of a protector from the shadows.
That makes sense. That works.
Good.
Okay. As for the wind or cloud barons, definitely cloud barons, not wind barons, right? That's for the cloud barons.
Might have been wind barons, and I might have said cloud barons.
Okay.
Might be. Who knows?
They've upgraded.
Sometimes the DM can't keep track of his own world. Sometimes.
Sure.
Sometimes he renames action.
They've evolved. They've gone beyond that now. As for the Cloud Barons, if they were stifling trade and destroying airships and all of this other thing, and now they are suddenly silent, are you not worried they've moved to Horizon? Maybe to take out
It is not that they have stopped entirely. They are still doing those things. They are just less prevalent here in Gusthaven. Whether that is because Aerois was at the head of the operations here, or whether because they have, I don't know, new allies or perhaps new targets. I don't know. They are still active. We still have to keep on top of it. We still find them smuggling things in and out of the city. There is a narcotic that has been, I believe that they have been testing it here in Gusthaven. We found many of their manufacturing labs within the chains beneath the city. They are still active here, but it is no longer as prominent. They also seem to be, less interested in myself, I must be honest. Before, there was always the threats to my own life and to the lives of citizens and the airships here, but it seems to be less important to them now. And if they do attack Horizon, I think that is all the more reason for yourselves and Moonstar to be there. She knows, she has been very accomplished in fighting against them, their tactics, their ways of thinking.
Oh, absolutely. I was also wondering about, as we mentioned in our recap, the codes that we picked up to the Tassadar, the allies we made out there, in regards to
angels.
returning valor. Yes, returning valor to Aerois. I mean, we haven't formulated any real concrete plans, except that we create some kind of two-pronged attack between the allegiances we've made out there and with us here. Maybe that could be while they're distracted with the meeting, we try and return valor then? I don't know.
Keelik, if I may be honest, such matters are actually beyond me. I'm not a military commander. If you require the use of Gusthaven's teleportation circle, you have it. If there is aid that I can offer you, not financial, but if you need guards, if you need soldiers, ask and I will provide them.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Well, we can try and figure out some way of doing that. Maybe after the meeting. I don't know. We need to.
I am afraid that I must leave. I must leave that to your own discretions. You know these enemies. You know these allies far better than I. But if I can aid you in any way, speak it, and I will do what I can. Financially, I'm afraid that Gusthaven cannot offer you any financial support. As I mentioned, I am using what I have to keep the city going as is. Even your ship, as much as I wish I could have helped you repair it, I'm afraid that is simply beyond my accounts right now. But if there's other ways that I can assist you, of course, I am more than happy to help. And when we speak in the meeting, please understand that I will support you all fully. You will have Gusthaven's full support in whatever you must say, in whatever requests you must make to the other leaders of Aerois. I will support you and back you and give you whatever political aid I can.
And to you, to the best of, what you can provide. You've been a great help to us.
I'm afraid that I've not really been able to provide much, Sentry. I am just a boy who was born to the right bloodline and has inherited a crown and a sword and a city. And all I can do now is try and make it as honest and as good and safe as I can. I'm not a fighter. I am not a mage. I'm just a man. That is all I can be.
You've given us your time. You've listened to us.
Of course, that is. I feel that anyone could do that.
Your seat is a symbol.
Not many people we've met.
And you fill that seat quite honorably, I believe. You're doing Gusthaven a service, and to that, Aerois. And we are honored to stand by your side. Thank you.
Your words are kind, Lucius, but anyone could sit in that chair. You could. I don't have anywhere near your experience, your abilities. Perhaps I'm okay with a sword. That is probably the best of my accomplishments.
I believe if you are doing your job correctly, you have no need of such skills. Our skills are when your politics fail.
Well, I hope that perhaps one day I can make you all out of a job. Still.
I hope so too.
Still, it is getting late, and I believe that our mysterious companion did say that she wished to speak with you. If there's anything you need while you're here, you have it.
Thank you. Well, I'm quite put off by food. I don't know about all of you.
I will leave you to it. If you do wish to stay, someone of you will see you out, but if you wish to stay and drink, please do. But I think I should go and get some sleep. Take care. He gets up. Malachi, and then the owl flies over his shoulder, and the two of them leave. Yeah.
Man, Malachi is cool.
Sweet dreams. Yeah.
Star Owl.
Cool
It's pretty
book.
cool, eh? He's way cooler.
The Star
than
Owl,
Prince.
yeah.
Lame Prince.
Nah, come on. Okay, so that's good to know. I mean, the support from the full support from the Prince of Gusthaven.
He plays himself
What a
down. His ability and his power that he possesses. My dad used to talk about it all the time. He controls a sizable city and an army. He'll come into it, I'm sure. The confidence.
As long as he continues to try to do the right thing and sides with the right people.
Yes, that humility
nothing more
can be
he'll
a
need to do.
strength, I believe. Anyway, so what next? Maybe more shopping or so. Some shops are still open.
I think I'm all shopped out.
Really? Not new clothing or something? Maybe some treats?
Bought everything I want to buy.
Right. Well, how about another Sky Lake? You've only been there once, and at this
We
time
could go
of night,
back to the Sky Lake.
it's idyllic. Yes. Wonderful. Right now?
Sure.
I mean, would
Okay.
your sister
Wait,
like
wait,
to meet us
Scott.
there, do you think?
The way I see it, Nova, wherever she wants to meet us, she'll meet us there.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a question of where we go, it's a question of if she'll find us, and she probably will.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Maybe we should just go back to our hideout. And await the inevitable.
I think.
I suppose. I don't. Not Sky Lake.
Sure. You tell me.
Hideout.
All right.
Hideout.
You all make your way out of Galecrown, and you make your way back to the small park erected in honor of Lucius's family. Activating the special wards behind it, you are teleported down into the large, open, cavernous space that has been left for Lucius to do with as he wishes. And waiting inside is not one figure, but two. You can see that there is not really much in the way of furniture. They're just kind of stood there waiting. The first you see is Moonstar, with her mask removed, as Aerois Elanasto, Lucius's sister. Brown hair, kind of sweeping down the same face. She has two blue eyes, where Lucius has one orange and one blue. Aerois has two blue eyes. And she stands there with her mask off, but still wearing the same armor and things. Next to her is another figure, and I think this is a figure most of you have met before. Lucius would certainly remember them. They appear to be wearing the armor. They almost look like a much more traditional fantasy knight. And they have full plate, all kind of strapped up with a kind of very elaborate tabard, and they're holding a helm in one hand. They look quite as if they've just returned from something. You can see that there's like a little bit of gleam of sweat on their brow. Short cropped blonde hair, a very kind of handsome masculine face. And it is a elf called Bellinor Magrona, who is a member of the Magrona noble family.
Yeah, I remember this guy, yeah.
Yeah. And as you begin making your way down, your kind of footsteps echoing, Aerois turns, nods in all of your direction. I was hoping that you would all make it back here. I didn't want to have to go finding you somewhere in the city.
Not by Sky Lake.
Should he be in here?
You see him kind of stiffen. He's just like, and what is that supposed to mean, Arakokra? Why should I not be here?
Because it's our secret.
Aerois
You're
like,
not an Elanasto.
I brought him here. I brought him here because he has important information, and information that I think that Lucius should hear, and that all of you should hear. And he has offered his aid to me, and I have come to trust him. So much so that he now knows who I am.
I'm not so sure about this. I'll be honest. It's just a little impolite to assume that he is welcome, and that you should bring him here. Oh, why are you so certainly trusting of him, Magrona?
Bellinor kind of awkwardly kind of stiffens and like looks away, and you kind of see just like I think Quill would hear like under his breath he kind of mutters like, "Oh, for star's sake, Lucius," and Aerois is just like, "Lucius, whatever problems you had when you were younger, we need to put that aside. Bellinor has information about the Barons. More importantly, I think he has information about the ones who are directly connected to Mother and Father's death."
Oh. Right.
That is why I've brought him here. That is why I've come to trust him.
And how certain are we of your information?
It is not... I wish I wasn't certain about it, Lucius. When you first came here, when we heard that you were alive, we began investigating what happened. You remember my mother was arrested. Anastasia was arrested in the belief that she was connected to the murder and embezzling of your money, yes?
Yes.
Ever since then, my brother Democles has been taking over more and more of the Magrona's family's affairs. He's always been smart, like Aerois. He's been interested in Ethereum, making things, magic, stuff that I never understood. Mother's been distraught. She doesn't come out of her room. Democles has said that she's not allowed to leave the house. Says that she's brought too much shame, that it would only make her worse, that she would embarrass herself. I've noticed things. He doesn't think I'm clever enough to notice them, but money's gone missing. Shipments that shouldn't have been made have been sent out. I've seen paperwork for them. He tells me that it's all just business, things that I wouldn't understand, but I'm no fool. With everything that happened with you and your family, and Mother's reaction to your father's death, well, something's up. Something's going on. And together, your sister, who I didn't know was alive, have been, well, doing what I can. She's been helping me investigate Democles. Aerois looks around and says, Democles and I have always been quite interested in magic and Ethereum, enchantments. I think he's the one who created the explosive device that was used to destroy our home, to kill Mother and Father. I think he's working with this Starbane to use this magitech, this new technology, to build weapons. I think that that's what the Cloud Barons, that's their ultimate goal, is using Sky City's Ethereum to build new weapons for the Valkyrians. Ethereum is a resource unique to Aerois. Only Aerois has it. And it has powerful elements to it, dangerous elements to it. I think that's what's happening.
It's quite significant how it ties with the events of Valkyrian and everything.
Well, everything you told me, the evidence, what you told me about what happened with this girl and Callus coming to Aerois, it lines up. The Cloud Barons, their actions didn't become... they were a small-time gang until, well, pretty much your events, the things that you told me happened in that town with the portal. Until then, they were a small-time gang, and then things ramped up quickly. Sure, people like Aerois had clearly been disgruntled for a long time. They'd been planning things politically, but they didn't get violent until they had these new tools.
Right. And how far have you got yourselves?
Well, Bellinor steps forward. He's like, my brother is scheduled to, he has a meeting somewhere. Normally he travels by airship, but he has to use a teleportation circle for this next meeting. And it's happening a few days from now. It's unusual. He's keeping it really secretive. I think that he might be visiting... What did you call it, Aerois? I think he's going to the place where they manufacture the weapons. I've scoured all of Gusthaven. I found no trace of any sort of facility where he could do this. Wherever he's making these weapons, it must be somewhere else, and I think he's probably traveling there.
So much is happening at the same time. We have an important meeting to attend that is uniting the leaders of all of Aerois, and we need to be there for it.
Lucius, if they're really manufacturing Ethereum and Magitech weapons and explosions, maybe they are going to use one of these devices at the meeting. It could benefit us finding these devices, maybe, or blueprints or something. And so if there's a possibility that one of them is at the meeting, we could stop it. We could work against it.
We also need to discover the scale of this manufacturing, the kind of weapons they're creating, how many, and, well, where they're getting sent to is another thing.
Maybe we should go there tomorrow. Scout and gain evidence to bring to the meeting. And if we can scupper the plans of any sort of terrorism, we could do so.
I don't know where it's taking place. Damocles doesn't tell me anything. He won't tell Mother anything. We've been effectively shut out of our own family business. I'm a knight. I fight. I don't know how to deal with this sneaking around malarkey. I didn't know how to get the information, so Aerois said that we should speak with you, that your friends here might have ways of uncovering that information somehow.
If you were to allow us to meet with Damocles, or even see him in some way, I could get the information myself.
And I think that that's something I can arrange. He's playing the part of a political noble. You're very well liked by the Sky Prince. Lucius has earned something of a name to himself. I'm pretty sure we can at least arrange a casual meeting, if that's all you need. I
just need to see him. Even at a distance, anything. I could get the information.
Very doable. That's very doable.
The issue, Quill, is if we were to provide this as evidence to the meeting, it's word against word.
If we are simply looking for a way to get into the manufacturing facility in some way, that's all the information I'll need. We can then use that to get there ourselves.
Right.
Aerois looks at Quill and says, this would be my plan. I think that we should, if Damocles is making these weapons, the scale of which to destroy our family home was significant. I think that these are the same weapons. When you were attacked here in Gusthaven, you remember the tower? They used similar explosive devices to teleport themselves and weapons through. I think they might be dealing with similar matters there. If we can find this place, shut it down, maybe recover some of their devices or blueprints, as Miss Nova says, we may be able to find a way of shutting down any plans they have before they are to strike.
What's more, imagine a manufacturing facility of Ethereum under the control of Gusthaven instead.
True.
Bellinor looks at that like, that is very forethinking of you. I would imagine you wish to only to destroy it and not keep it around. I don't know how to deal with matters of this nature. Lucius, I know that you and I had our difficulties as children, and I think that I made it clear when last we spoke that I apologize for those matters, that behavior. It was wrong. I acknowledge that. I need your help. The Magrona family, despite its history with the Elanastos, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my family. My mother is a good woman, if a shrewd one. What my brother is doing is a shameful act. It is shameful to Gusthaven. It is shameful to my family, and I wish to put a stop to it. But I can't do this by myself. I'm not clever enough. Will you help me?
Oh, of course I'll help you. It's beyond both of us. Beyond both of our trivial histories. I know what happened. Indeed. I know it affected me, and I'm good enough to know that I am past it. It's growth. We both have learnt, and I think it's evidence that you have grown and learned from it too. And I respect that.
Yes. Perhaps I will say more when it is perhaps just the two of us. There are things I wish to say about our past as well, perhaps things that you are not aware of. But for what I did, I am sorry, and thank you for helping me. Your sister has been enlightening to speak with. She is... I think that... and he just kind of straightens himself up. Still, this is clearly... I'm glad that we are united on this. I will reach out to you in the morning. Quillek? Your name?
Keelek.
Keelek. I will... If you need only to see my brother, we can make that happen tomorrow, even in passing.
Perfect.
Can it happen tonight? Yes. With the aid
it is a bit late now.
Moonstar.
He will be in the estate. It will be difficult to get him out. But make your way to the trade district tomorrow. There's a small cafe beside the Eighth Agora. Sit and have breakfast there. Or you only need to see him, I will make sure that we walk past that direction. I'll make sure that I get him out of the house and pass by there.
Right.
Okay.
Very well. Is that all, Aerois? Yes, thank you, Bellinor. I think perhaps best I speak with my brother and his friends alone now. Very well. Good evening. And Bellinor very awkwardly kind of stomps his way over. You do actually, before he goes, he glances at Nova. And he looks at Nova. You don't have a brother Skyjouster, do you?
Is he here? Have you seen him? Has he been in any matches recently?
Tornado?
Yes!
That's him, isn't it? I think you just missed him. He was here for a tournament that finished tonight.
No.
He unfortunately was knocked out a couple of days ago, but he was here. Oh. Good fighter.
Do you know where he is? Is he still in Gusthaven? Is he around? Is he?
I don't. He may still be in the city. He may have moved on. The next one is in Horizon, so I couldn't tell you.
Horizon? Perfect, but also possibly not perfect if things are exploding, Quill. I need to find him.
I recognized the family resemblance. Although he's very different to you. You're far more bookish.
Just say nerd. It's fine. It's a good word.
Yes, you're a nerd.
Like,
he is not a nerd.
Yes. No, he's not. No. You're a prick. But no, he was always the athlete of the family. He was the sporty one. I love him so much. Oh, I'm so sad that he got knocked out of the tournament.
He needs to work on his lateral movements. They're sluggish compared to his attacks. It's very easy to unseat him.
I'll tell him that when I see him. Thank you. I will.
Goodbye.
You know where to find us.
Lucius stiffens when he starts talking about sky jousting.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to
giving brutal advice to the sister of the sky jouster.
Yep. It's almost like it's a bit too familiar for Lucius. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he leaves, and Aerois kind of relaxes. Bringing him here was a last resort. I want you to understand. He was insistent that he speak with Lucius, and I do think that we can trust him.
Well,
I'm glad that you are safe. I've heard some worrying things.
Well, yes.
They're probably all true, to be honest. It's been a bit of a rough one.
I appreciate the honesty. I imagine that they are true. I only know what I've learned from the Sky Prince, that you were involved somehow in cleansing Voxar. But there are rumors There are rumors of saying that a ship came from beyond the cradle.
Seems like a lot of people are hearing rumors recently.
Well,
Yeah.
a ship coming through the cradle, big news. Something breaking through the cradle.
We were
kind
on
of
it.
a big deal.
That was us. Yeah. Don't worry though. We got permission. We got permission from,
Divine
Gods?
permission.
divine God permission and stuff and things. And there was a worm involved. It was a very strange time.
Yeah, Sentry got an upgrade, I think.
She did. She did now. She has got it now.
Okay.
Apparently. and you need to
Sentry
know.
wasn't Sentinel Prime when you were here last, was she?
No.
No.
So yeah, so Adea would be like looking at Sentry like, yeah, okay, there's definitely some changes as well.
You need to know as well, Lucius has been amazing on all of this. He's been an absolutely formidable and brilliant captain of the Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
And he's really pulled us through so many
Thank you,
situations,
Nova.
and he's awesome.
Thank you.
A leader that we should all follow on the
Thank you,
on
Will.
our
Yes.
airship.
You do
Everyone
realize
on the
that this
ship
is
loves him
as
too.
uncomfortable for me as it is for Lucius, just having people relentlessly praising my brother awkwardly.
Don't
Like,
worry,
it's-
he still bought new glovies earlier, so he's still himself. It's fine.
Yeah, if 24,000 gold was a lot of money.
Is it a lot of money?
Oh my. Okay.
Amazing.
Well, I must admit I've gotten into the habit of really just taking what I need now from other families and armories and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a lot, brother?
Yes.
I don't know, sister.
It's a lot of money.
They say it is.
Well,
Anyway,
It's a lot.
I just want to say thank you for the gift that you provided. You did not need
how
to.
has it been functioning? Has it been functioning?
More than acceptable. It's been a lifesaver in some instances.
Do you have any criticisms or feedback? Any improvements that could be made?
No, I just want to thank you for the generosity and the gift.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping that you would have more feedback that I could build upon the design.
I
I'm
just
gonna
want to
look at
thank
I
you
Nova.
for
spoke
it.
to you about this earlier.
Who probably has
yes.
extensive notes.
Well, if you have, I would like to compare our notes then, Nova Vija, if you do have information about it. But I will
thank
probably
you.
quiz my brother.
Thank you for
Oh, yes, you are welcome. Yes. You are welcome.
No,
It's fine.
I mean it.
I'm glad that it's functioning. Yes, I know you
means
mean
a lot.
it.
It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Of course it does. She just looks at you like, yes, I know. In that kind of like, she's always been like this. Adair is like very sort of just
He gives
like
up after
less
that point.
emotional. Yeah, she's more like your father in that she's less emotional and more like yes, of course you appreciate it. I gave it to you. Like,
Lucius after that bit is like, yeah, there we are.
well, thank you for arranging this space. I've not quite had the opportunity to use it much yet, but with regards to this matter, with what Bellinor has discovered, if Democles is involved, he will be one of the major players in these cloud wind barons, whatever you wish to call them, this gang. I do think it is important that we discover this manufacturing facility as soon as possible. I know I'm asking a lot. You have had many grand adventures, but the sooner that we can investigate this, the better, I feel.
Agreed. If we can do anything to scupper the plans and perhaps even, like Quill says, put them to our advantage, we should do so immediately before this meeting.
Not just that, Lucius, but I need... This is also the one who's responsible for Mother and Father's death. I want to make something clear to all of you now. If we find Democles there, I will kill him. I'm not going to let that get away from me. I need that. I need to know that he's suffered for what he's done. Aerois was a ringleader, was a part of this, yes, and I intend to bring all of them to justice, but if Democles was the one who made the thing that killed them, well, I need to make sure that justice is delivered. I can't let that sit. I'm sorry. I just want you all to know that.
It's worth remembering, Adea, there's two of you here that would make that judgment. Lucius has a say in this too.
Give me a No, don't even make a roll for it. I think that not even a roll for that. But I think she does like hard looks at Quill, and it's like she wants to like argue that, but she can't bring herself to. Like there's this moment where she's like,
"He's right, Aerois.
He is right." Well,
and this is where you and me,
you and I, yes,
it's where we differ. Where you
can't seriously think that we let him live.
And what would killing him really do? It's how you've always been. It would be absolutions.
Equivalent exchange. He took their lives, we take his. The law of
how I see
nature. You are sensitive to these things, Lucius. You always have been. This is just justice. What else could be? If he goes to prison, this type of individual with these connections, he'll weasel out of it. Or one of his companions will silence him.
I just believe a swift end is not fixing your problem. I believe justice is not going to cure what ails you in your mind, and it will not be the end. It will only be the start and the catalyst for more.
And so they just go unavenged.
They will have justice in the correct way.
Something for us to discuss, or perhaps at least think on privately. When you are ready, when you have that information, let me know, and I can make the arrangements for us to reach there, either via teleportation circle or more mundane means. I won't keep you too much longer.
Good to see you.
And to you. I'm glad that you are safe, and I'm very grateful to the rest of you for looking after my brother.
Have you had word from Nanny Norfear?
Norfear, as usual, is her cryptic self. I've received ciphers from her. She's actually been one of the ones who's helped me make sure to verify Bellinor's information. She's been instrumental in making sure, in searching lowland facilities to try and locate this manufacturing facility, but she's not had much luck. Last I heard that she had traveled to Goldthrone. She was investigating Savona to make sure there were no facilities there. She'd met several of the large business owners in the city and was working with them, from what I understand.
She's always active.
Oh yes, she rarely seems to stop these days. I think that she is not so much Nanny as she is Norfear now. Much more back to her old occupation, shall we say.
I fear she's always been like that. She was just very good at hiding it from us.
Well, I certainly hope that she did less killing when she was reading us bedtime stories.
I'm worried now she was doing it just the same.
It might explain some of her odd disappearances.
Anyway, I won't keep you.
Anyway, yes. With that, she's like, well, clips the mask back on. Shall see you tomorrow, in the augmented voice, and then she just begins making her way out. But yeah.
Okay. Well, that went well. We got a lot of information in regards to getting to the bottom of this weapons facility, Lucius. And,
Yes. Beneficial.
Beyond. Now, it's really up to you, Lucius. We can meet with Damocles, or just I can glean the information. Are we going for this facility before the meeting?
I think we should. Don't you all agree?
I do.
Yeah, if
I
we have
agree.
explosives,
I think
we can't really let that slide.
No.
Not before this meeting.
That is a classic weapon of espionage. And I really do think espionage and, well, terrorism is going to be happening all up in this meeting. World leaders, all together? Come on. Perfect
We should also
opportunity for a strike.
consider, rather than putting everything on this being the potential threat, that there may be many more as well. So let's not blinker ourselves to just one situation.
Oh, hell,
Also-
I'm going into this situation thinking that every item and every person in the vicinity is a brookstone. Nothing
Right.
can
Yes.
be trusted.
Yeah. Also, this close to the meeting, much of the weaponry would have already been made and probably shipped. It's more a question of finding out what we'd be up against and how to defend ourselves against it in time, hopefully.
Yes.
And also, well, getting
Information
to the bottom of
is
the
powerful.
Elenasto situation.
Yeah. Like you
Right.
said, Quill, find
Cool.
out where it's going too. Who's involved? Who's buying these?
Okay. Well, when I see him tomorrow, if he's using a teleportation circle, I could try to find out what the code is. If all teleportation circles use codes, that is.
Yeah, they use sigils. Yeah, it's like a code sequence that you complete, like a password.
So if he's using a teleportation circle to get there, like they said, then I just find out the sigil. We get there ourselves.
So you mean
best.
you've basically got to ask the right questions, Quill?
Yeah.
Or I could scry on
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
If
good
if,
scry.
if Bellinor gets me a fingernail.
Weird.
I don't think you asked for one, but you could try.
No,
If
I
there's nothing
didn't,
else,
but
you guys
I
just want
could.
to. You want a long rest and then get rolling on a new day? Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll head to the place to eat.
Breakfast
near-
in town, and
Well, yeah, I was going to say you guys have like a paid for inn here that the crown prince is the crown is basically paying for. But Nova, do you want to cast spell before you go to sleep? The spell you wanted to cast? Do you want to do that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's a perfect time to do it, right? Like if you're going to bed, chances are they're asleep. So
Beddy.
casting dream is probably a suitable time to do it. And you did want to get this done, and I think that this is an ample time to do it.
Oh.
Well, this close to the end of the
This-
episode, nothing's going to go wrong here.
Ooh. Oh no, we are heading towards a
Goodness sake.
cliffhanger, aren't we? I should have done it in the middle.
Time. Here we go.
So yeah, you guys make your way back. You will have like individual, well-kept rooms, very fluffy beds, maybe a bit too soft for Ayla's liking. Like it's like trying to sleep in like a jellyfish. Like you just sink into it.
probably gonna just like take some of the some of the duvet or something, put it on the floor, and
on
sleep
the
down
floor.
there instead.
Sleep
So it's
on that
comfortable
instead,
enough, but not ridiculous.
Yep,
like
much more
sleeping
fitting.
in a jellyfish.
Yeah, you just kind of melt into it.
It's not
I
the
don't think I've
underside.
ever heard a bed described that way.
Look, if I'd said, "Oh, it's like a cloud," it's a bit like generic. So I said jellyfish. All right, leave me alone. Meanwhile, yeah, everyone
it was
kind
a
of gets
choice,
relaxed and
Tom
comfortable.
Hazel. It was a choice.
It was a
Sorry.
choice.
Nova, you sit down. Do you have like any special preparations for the ritual or anything, like to describe what you're doing? Because you get to shape it. You
So,
get to
I
shape all the
guess-
dream and stuff. So you tell me how this goes.
So I would shape the dream. I would take off the scarf around my waist and hold it in my lap. I would place my book from my professor in front of me. And the dream that I would shape would probably be the engine room on the Storm Chaser.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how I would shape it.
Okay. So do you put yourself in the dream before they appear, or do you kind of leave yourself to appear? Because you kind of almost become deific in the dream, right? Like you can just be the room and then materialize as a person when you want, or you can be there when they arrive. You know, it's up to you, really.
I'll be there when they
Okay.
arrive. Yeah,
So
and
you're
I'll
kind of
have
waiting.
some hot cups of dream cocoa ready as well.
Okay, yeah, so you got like a couple of waiting, you're holding one in each hand. And yeah, now I don't know if you've sent me a full description of her, but I imagine we would see an older version of Nova like the kind of the hair puffy and kind of like curling, but also a little bit thinner at the very ends, like wispy, dressed in probably her own like day clothes. So it would be like an apron over a kind of like really basic pair of like work clothes and a pair of sandaled like shoes, blue skin, blue toes, very kept nails poking out from in between. Little tiny spectacles perched on like the end of her nose with a little chain wrapped around. This kind of figure kind of looks around in a bit of bemusement initially, kind of squinting, wrinkles her nose a little bit, the kind of crinkles and wrinkles in her face creating these deep lines as she looks around. Oh, it's quite dim and quite dirty in here. What's going on? She turns around and she looks, kind of cocks her head. No, Nova? What's going on? What? Is this a dream? And she's just kind of looking around a bit confused. Now, either I'm dreaming this because I've not seen you for so long, or is this something... Did your father give me too much to drink? No, we didn't drink before we went to bed, so... She kind of cocks her head.
Hi, Mom.
It is you.
You're kind of almost there. It's a dream. It's a dream. I created this. It's hard to explain. It's a spell, and this is a dream, but I'm here, and you're here, and I'm going to give you the biggest hug. And just run over, and I just, like, throw myself on her.
As she tries to, like, intercept one hand with the hot drink in it, it's just like, no, you're going to... Okay, yes. And then she kind of gets an arm around you, but also takes one of the cups, pries it out of your hand, and lets you wrap the other one around it. And then she squishes her face into yours, her wispy cloud hair kind of tickling your face. And she smells, you're creating the dream, but it still creates elements of her from her own memory. So she has like a strong smell of like street food, that kind of like spices and aromas kind of like emanating out of her skin almost where she's been cooking all day. And she's kind of got that, her hands have maybe got like a bit of flour or dust still on them that leave like little imprints on your clothes. She squishes you tight and you just feel her little arms kind of squeeze you deeply, and then she's just like, well, I don't know how you're doing this. Have you learnt magic or something ever since you left? We know you left very suddenly, and I know that you said that you were going off to learn things. So have you been studying magic? Is that what you've been doing?
Yes, but I've missed you. I've missed you so much. I miss you. You smell so good. I've missed you so much. I miss your food. How's stupid Coral? Is she all right? How's my sister? How's Dad? How's Dad? Is he all right? How's Granny? How's everyone?
Yes.
How's the store?
You're doing
how's everything?
You're doing your panic. Shush, 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 shush. Everyone's fine. And she kind of like puts her faces around your cheeks. It's just like, quiet time, Nova. Your father is very well. I know you do. I miss you too. Your father is very well. He's doing painting now is his new thing. He thinks that he's going to become a painter and he wants to do painting. Watercolors, of course. So he's off doing that. Coral is fine. She's got such an irritating new friend. She just talks and she never shuts up. It's just very, very irritating. But, they're happy enough. They're running around together. She's doing well in school. Oh, you must... Tornado, he's on tour. You might find him. You might see him. He's doing one of the new tournaments. He's jousting around. He's off to some of the Sky Cities, I think, and Savona.
I may have just missed him. I'm in Gusthaven currently. I'm about to go to Horizon. And I think he's going to Horizon, and I'll catch up with him there.
So where are you now?
I'm in Gusthaven, but I've not just been in... We've only just got here. I was in space. Mum, I was in space.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Beyond the astral... Beyond the cradle. I was beyond the cradle in space. Mum, I found Ganas.
Now, you haven't been taking any drugs or narcotics or anything, have you?
Mum,
you've been sent,
listen to me. I've not been taking narcotics. I promise you, I've been in space. Look...
That sounds very dangerous, but good. Okay.
Mom, just listen to me.
I'm listening. Go on, tell me what you want to say.
I need you to go and see the professor in the morning. I need you to see Professor Whitsong, and I need you to tell her that I found Jasavir. I found Ganas. I found where we're from.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I know that you
Look,
wouldn't...
I
know you wouldn't joke about those things.
If I
You found Ganas and Jasavir.
Yes. It's a really long story, but we were sent beyond the cradle and we ended up in the astral sea, and there's a whole solar system out there, and Ganas is up there. Our home world is up there, and all the inhabitants are caught up in...
It's like the ancestors said then, that there's a world out there that we came from.
Yes, and Jasavir is there.
Well, this sounds.
Look,
I feel like Professor. I should take this to the council, shouldn't I? This is big. This is something I should take to the council, or should I take it to the professor and then they'll take it to the council?
Exactly. And Mum, if you could just focus for a second, just look at this piece of paper.
Yes,
I've drawn the solar system for. Now you cannot take this with you when you wake up. Please, Mum, please, Mum, please,
it's so
just try. I tried to make it
on.
as simple as possible. I tried
Right,
to make it as simple as possible, Mum.
I'm looking.
Just-
I'm looking. Go on.
And our people, they're working with Callus Starbane. You need to know that. Their planet is part of the Valkyrian Empire. And Mum, this is serious now.
Right.
Callus Starbane is here, and he's trying to attack Aerois.
But that can't be. They can't get through the cradle. But if you went up there,
Mum,
maybe.
there it is. Think this thought, Mum. Think it through. If
Right,
I went
okay.
up there, he can come down here.
This seems an awful lot. I really feel I should. I mean, I'll take it to your professor, but this is a lot. Why don't you come here and explain it to the council? You come here and explain it. You're better at explaining it than me.
I'm very far away from Vortinsar, and I really want. But I might be meeting up with a member of the council soon, and I will pass this on to them as well. But I wanted you to take this to Professor Whitsong, because Professor Whitsong needs to know, and she knows what to do. And I can't do this spell with her because she's an high elf.
She's just gonna think I'm some crazy
elf.
woman. She's just gonna think I'm a crazy Ganassi who's I'm a chef.
She knows you. She knows you're my mum, and just tell her that I cast dream, and it's fine.
Dream? You casted
Mum.
dream?
I cast a dream. Yes, that's what.
All
I
right,
did.
I'll
That's
remember.
the
Maybe
spell.
that will mean something to her. It means nothing to me, but it might mean something to her. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take it to them. They're going to take it to the council. Callus Starbane is here, and Ganas is working with them, and I've got to show them this diagram. I mean, I'll do my best to remember this, but I don't think I'm going to remember this, Nova. But I'll try.
Have you
I'll
memorized
try.
it? Have you memorized?
Yeah, I
like,
think
the
so.
plants
I
over
mean,
there? No.
it's like a recipe. If I think of it like a recipe, then it's kind of makes sense. Like it's a big circle of this and a little circle. I think I can. All right. This is a lot of big stuff. Are you sure that you're up for this? You're just a little. You read your books and you've never been good at playing outside, and you don't look after yourself, and your brother's the one who's off fighting and doing all that sort of thing. Like maybe you should just come home and you can tell the professor and then leave it to the council. Maybe that's for the best.
I want to come home, Mum. I really do. But if I come
Well,
home,
then come home.
the things I know and the things I've seen, I want to protect you, and I may have just done something incredibly stupid that's put you and the family in danger. And if I come home, I will bring this danger home with me. I need to stay out here, and I need to stop it reaching Vortinsar.
All right. Well, should I do something? If we're in danger, should we leave? Should we? What should we do? Should I go? Should we come and find your
I don't
brother?
know, but I'll find Cloud. It's fine. Sorry, Tornado, dumb name. It's such a stupid name.
We've gotten used to calling
but
it. I know. We're calling him it now.
It's so dumb, isn't it? But anyway, I'll deal with Cloud. But I just want you to know that I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to stop things coming to Vortinsar, and And I don't understand, Mum. I'm trying my best here. I don't understand people. I can't tell you everything, but there's stuff happening, and I just wish people would get along. I don't understand why people can't see the logical thing, and I may have said something to someone very powerful, and I've really made them angry, and now they're gonna do horrible things to everyone I love. Oh, God.
She kind of just like pats you on the back and is like, look, you are very smart. You have always been very smart. And unfortunately, the rest of us are not as smart as you are. You are going to understand things that many of us can't. And people can be very stupid and very stubborn and very thick-headed. And you can't change them. So if you know of a way to help, do that. Worry less about trying to convince other people. Worry about looking after yourself. Worry looking after the people around you. And doing whatever you can. That's all you can.
Thanks, Mum. I needed that. And
Smoosh. Smoosh face. Kiss on forehead. I know you will. Right. So Professor I'm trying to remember which one that is. It's the lady.
It was
The
the
nice
one
one.
that you sent me to when Atlas Academy kicked me out because I talked back to the teachers too much. So you
Yes,
sent me
I
to
remember
Professor
her now.
Whitsong for extra
Mhm.
teaching.
Yes, I remember her now. Yeah. I will send her to that one. All right. Okay. I love you.
Yeah. I love
Say
you,
it.
Mom.
Thank you.
I love you, Mommy.
Are you eating well enough? And you can see the dreams
I
beginning
am
to
eating
fade
well,
as the spell is
Mum.
ending. Good. What are you eating?
Bye.
Proper food?
I'm keeping warm as
Not
well.
any of that Lowland.
I'm eating
Are
proper
you not
food.
eating
Bye.
any of that
God,
Sky
cancel
City
the spell, cancel the
food?
spell, cancel the spell, cancel the spell.
It just falls apart into an empty dream. And with that, that is where we will end today's episode with a lovely
that
little
was
chat between
wonderful.
Nova and Nova Mum.
That was
Very
the most
nice.
typical
Very
mum
actual.
thing ever.
I did my
Yeah.
best. to
I'm
be
never
engaged.
going to remember this.
Mum doesn't know how to use
Yeah.
Zoom energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but also like, yeah, Nova's mum. Well, I hope that she came off in the right way and do
Yeah.
my best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
pretty
great.
much. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, look, there's a lovely little end. No scary cliffhanger. That will be next week. This week,
Oh,
there's a
no.
really awesome ending. So yeah, with that, that's going to bring our episode to an end. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next week.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Any further things to read
reminder
out,
again,
Thomas?
Yep, I'll read some more
Thomas.
things.
We have more.
We have a quarter hundo from Darrow that says, skies aren't so clear here in Fort Worth, but thank you all for keeping us company in these times. Quite all right, Darrow.
quite all right.
Thank you for joining us. Holly LIV3, or Holly Live, I guess. Rhiannon is my favorite person. No offense. High Rollers has gotten me through many days at work. You keep me sane. I love what you guys do, and I'm still very far behind because I just found you guys not too long ago. My last episode just freed Nightfrost. Oh, you've got a lot to get through. Oh, you got a lot. You've also got a lot of
Have fun.
cast Rhiannon moments too. Daft Day 41. New year, new high rollers. Let's get it done. Hashtag clear skies. I like that. Hashtag clear skies. Shire has donated. Help! I have a serious case of can't stop thinking about drawing Lucius in pretty outfits. Well, keep going. I want to
Keep going. Yeah, I was going to say.
Hell yeah.
I've seen it.
See more of
Put
that.
it on Twitter.
Yeah, put it on Twitter. Kin Blood with $58 donation.
Wow.
Hope
Oh,
you
thank
all got a good new year and clear skies. Thanks to your GM series, I started being a GM and hope you meet a Hexadin soon. A Hexadin.
Hope we.
there's the
Warlock,
link.
Hexblade, multi-class paladin.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of good
incredible.
synergy. There's a lot of synergy
Okay, that-
between
Wow.
paladin and
That's
Hexblade.
Ree's
Cool.
next character. It's fine.
Yeah. I can see that.
Muse's Whim has donated a full hundo that says,
Oh,
hi
oh,
from
thank
the
you.
US. Hi from the US. My grandma passed away in October, and your streams helped me then and through all of 2020. So I have a bit of my inheritance. Once it's safe, I am planning a trip to the Scottish villages where my grandma's parents were born. Any advice, Katie?
Oh, bring an umbrella, a coat, some t-shirts, basically everything. that you could ever need
Warm.
for any weather.
For any weather,
Always
that's
carry
the
an
thing.
umbrella. Always
Yeah.
carry an umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And buy
Very
nice
lovely.
shortbread and delicious foods.
Oh, and buy
Mm.
Mrs. Tilly's fudge. Mrs. Tilly's fudge.
Yeah.
Not
Tilly's
sponsored.
fudge.
Wish
That's
I
the other
would.
one.
Please send me fudge. Mrs. Tilly.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good.
Well, thank you very much, Muses Whim. That is a very lovely idea.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Chromium246. Clear skies ahead into 2021. Excited for another whole year of content. Beautiful, amazing D&D content. Thank you for creating something wonderful to look forward to every week. Thank you very much, Chromium. Eric J96 with a quarter hundo. Thank you all. Thank you all of you beautiful people for inspiring me to play D&D. Playing and watching you play this past year especially has helped me keep sane. Love you all. Here's 3 cheers for 5 more years and looking for... Oh, wait, not 5 more years. 3 cheers for 5 years and looking forward to many more.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Scrappy Coco. I'll go quickly because I think Pyrion's on after us. Scrappy Coco.
Yeah,
My grandma is in the hospital. My grandma is in the hospital and has surgery scheduled for tomorrow morning. I have been extremely worried and anxious all week. Y'all have been able to make me smile, and your wit, humor, and wacky fun. Thank you for helping to lift my spirits. Well, best of luck, Scrappy Coco. I hope all is well with that one.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. Keishi, a new episode. Calm, it's 3 a.m. Calm, it's 3 a.m. Panic. I don't think that means translate in text for some reason. Love you all. Odd Squad today, and here's a message. There are no mistakes, Master Oogway. There you go.
My time has come.
I love Master.
I fucking love Master Oogway. He's the best.
Love Master Oogway.
My time has come.
Fail of fail draws. Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a nice holiday. I'm very excited for all the political intrigue coming up in this arc. Fingers crossed. Hope no one gets assassinated. Yeah, well, you had also, Fail, we had some very in-depth descriptions of some characters in this episode too. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge.
Wow. Just outright calling for fan art now, is it? I see.
Well, I mean, I it's going to happen. It's fail draws. It's going to happen. A.L. Wolf.
Love you, Fail.
Love
no
you.
pressure.
A.L. Wolf. Gosh darn it, Mark. Nanny is Pennyworth from the start. Garg. It literally says Garg. You subtle genius. You
A couple of years
genius,
ago,
Mark.
Nanny Northfield was working for a warlord down in Burma.
And also, we had a load of gift subs from White Noise 81, Purple Guy, Wolfie Kid of Doom, Ale Wolf, KB Mans, an anonymous gifter, Talisman, Cooper Orc, Muses Whim, and Seaman 0713. So thank you for those gifted
Thanks,
subs.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
From Trumpole, The Signless, Artone, Lemon Twist, Mutant, and there was some Yog donors as well. Olarenve, thank you for the donation with no message. Camp Gruffula. Hi, Rollers Crew, you're the best. Me and my partner are both feeling crappy as we both got COVID over Christmas, so wanted to send small thanks for helping keep our spirits up
Sorry to hear
while we
that.
can't do anything. Looking forward to seeing you all
Yes.
back around the table sometime this decade. Yes, I'm glad to hear that you are staying inside as well.
Thank you
Staying
for
in
doing
there.
that.
Watch D&D.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay and watch D&D.
Stay at home.
And also,
Watch D&D. Beat COVID. That's how we do it.
hashtag clear
Boom.
skies. And also Ace
Yeah.
of Thorns. Ace of Thorns, Happy New Year to you wonderful folks. Thanks for making 2020 more tolerable. And that is everyone. That's all.
Sweet.
Thanks very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you
everybody.
very much, everybody.
We'll see you next week. We'll let you know if when Strahd's going to resume. I don't think it's going to be this week, but hopefully next week. Mainly because I'm getting a tooth extracted, and so I don't really want to be talking.
Oh,
too
you
much.
need that
Yay.
recovery.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
We'll leave you with
hopefully
Pyrion.
next Sunday. We'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy Pyrion
Yeah.
stream. Goodbye.
Yes.
Bye,
Bye,
bye.
everybody.
Let's go.